Well, hello everyone, and thank you for waiting. We are here on a whatever night Tuesday to play a little Masks: A New Generation, but it's different. It's not Teen Justice Academy. It is Fate Brigade. It has a slightly different vibe to it. But before I give away all of the secrets, Misha, you are running this particular clown show, so kick us off.
Yeah, so this is a mask game. That's cool. I'm Misha or Misha underscore less than three, here on Twitch or at Misha Wea on Twitter. Um, let's see. I I've run one mask game before in the Teen Justice Academy, and this one's in the same universe, only these guys are a different set of heroes and all very cool. Everyone's been thinking about it for like the last month, so it's very exciting. But to start with, we can just go around and introduce yourselves and do a brief character intro, and then we can do the deep dive into all of your abilities and what background you currently know about your character. Because in this episode, we're probably going to do a little more how the team got together than the assumption that you were already together. So we can start with SJ.
All right, I am SJ or SJ underscore sidekick. I will be playing Mithril, who is a transformed playbook. So she used to be a competitive swimmer, and then during a competition that she was traveling for, her and a few of the other competitors decided to go diving off the coast just for fun during their downtime. And she found something in the water, ended up being some alien technology from a crashed ship. The suit bonded to her, and she now cannot take it off. It also comes with a nice fancy little AI, which is named Adaptive Symbiotic Exoskeleton, or ACE. And so Meryl Mizuko, who she just goes by Ms., with ACE together are Mithril. So, and the AI and her have very different ideas of what they should be doing. So that's fun.
Hi, I'm Sin or sinful underscore underscore potato on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the stuff. I'll be playing Katsumi, who is the outsider coming from a planet in a system. The planet they were born on is a potato planet called Potania, I think, or some form of that. But it's no longer in existence because Katsumi destroyed it accidentally. Yep. And that's why they came to Earth and crash landed. Uh, and Katsumi goes by any pronouns, so he, she, they, all of them. Yeah. Tough.
Cool. I am 90 Tupplove, or Tuff, or Torf, or Torfulton, or some other variety of nickname. I'm also a variety streamer on Twitch. I play different games. Sometimes I run games like this. I run a Masks campaign that we'll pick up at some point, and then I think we're playing on Sin's channel on Saturday, and then I'll be here again on Thursday, and then there's lots of other stuff going on. But it's fine. That's what happens when you're in 8 different Masks campaigns on top of other TTRPGs. I am playing the creature of the Reed Youth Study for Tactical Anomalous Life Forms, but everybody just calls her Crystal, because that's easier than all those words. She is the newborn. She is made entirely of crystal. She is pink. She is tiny. She's adorable. And sometimes she turns into a giant, scary 12-foot crystalline monster, but we don't worry about that. It's fine. So, yeah. Michael.
Yeah, and I'm Zero Daylight, and I am playing Tanawak Torres, or Tommy Torres, who you may remember if you watched episode 4, Teen Justice Academy Evolution. He is a friend of Dr. Darwin. He's a nice kid. A little maybe shy. But he's also the Nova playbook, so his whole thing is massive collateral damage and warping reality. So I'm sure that'll be fine. And everything gets worse when he gets upset.
And no one here will cause any upset whatsoever. So how about starting with you, Zero? You want to dive a little more into where your labels currently are and the moves that you took for the Nova playset to get into that. And just to, as someone mentioned, trying to learn the mask system, it's vaguely powered by the Apocalypse system, so it uses the 2d6 for your rolls. Where typically a success is a good success is 10 plus, and the 7 to 9 is a mixed success, unless you take a powerful blow.
Yes.
That probably won't happen either. Yeah.
We'll see.
And there's something else. Oh yeah, if you were using boons and banes for this channel in particular, when we mentioned those will be either a major boon will be re-rolling one or more of the dice that you're spending, and a minor boon will be adding one. And that's something just for this channel.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead.
Cool. So abilities is biokinesis. Tommy controls the life field that permeates the universe and is connected to all living things therein. He is connected to a white space, which is basically unadulterated life force, the source from which all springs, except there's a dark corner, which hopefully we won't have to explore. And as all masked characters, he has a number of labels. Labels represent not only how he sees himself, and they impact how successful he is at doing things, but they also reflect how other people see him. So if you're not familiar with masks, there's a lot of moving labels as a result of conversations or learning things about oneself or the way others see you. As a Nova, freak is his thing. Many of his powers are keyed off of freak, so that is his highest attribute. He has, at a 2, he has a little bit of danger, a little bit of savior. Superior, he's just like kind of middle of the road. And he's not exactly very mundane, so he has a -1 in that. As a Nova, the key playbook move is burn. So you power up, roll some dice, and in fact you roll plus conditions as opposed to any attribute, and a high score means you hold 3, and then it scales down as Misha explained. And with that burn, you can spend a hold to do a variety of things, and his burns are Reality Storm, which is basically just wreck everything, Overcharge, which is goose up one of his friends, or himself. Sorry, that's himself. That is a spend 2 burn to roll to take a 10 plus. Snatch, so he can use a burn to seize any object up to the size of a person from somewhere within view. And he can move. Spend 1 burn to move to any place chosen within a scene, or 2 burn to move to anywhere he's been before. All of this is accomplished by manifesting living creatures directly out of the life field. So the snatch is like, there's a weird, marmoset that like appears in the air and snatches something out of an enemy's hand. Or Reality Storm is just like herd of rhinos or whatever. And since he has spent a lot of time on Dr. Darwin's Island, some of the animals that he manifests might not be completely regular. There might be a few pandadillos and other sorts of, pandadillos, fashion beavers, Veslothraptors, that kind of stuff that shows up as a little, well. Mm-hmm.
Nope. That one's out. But the question for me, do they look like regular animals, like normal, or do they glow or something?
They look like regular animals. They all have a very slightly kind of greeny white coloring to them. So they are, certainly when they're in a group, they can be distinguished as not quite normal. It's possible Tommy could make one that looks normal, but they all kind of pop out with this strange coloration. Cool. And he has to remember to put them back, because if he doesn't put them back, they just stick around.
Yeah, that's fine. there won't be any ecosystem problems.
Right.
You were last seen on a pterodactyl or something, right?
Yes, I was last
All
seen.
right, we'll get back to that in a minute. I think we'll cover, so there's relationships that are typically set up for the team. Some people have already selected them and they'll probably come true. If you just want to wait on setting those as we get set up in our scenes, normally we do that at the start here. I think you've covered most of the stuff in the backstory, but if you think there's anything else in there, that'd be handy to know before we get going.
Tommy was at a movie theater. He went to go see Cretaceous Island when it first came out, and he loved the dinosaurs. And the fact that he had powers was discovered when he manifested a Stegosaurus in the theater. And his parents' landlord was present and was mildly injured, and that caused problems with the family. They were evicted. Parents lost their job. Things got really bad. Certain agencies and other groups got wind of his powers and started trying to track him down. So he had to leave his family for their own safety. And that's how he wound up on the island of Dr. Darwin until a group of heroes came and wrecked that.
You know, as they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'll mention that each playbook has specific backstory questions to kind of make you think about, like, where they come from and why they're going to be a hero and stuff like that, related specifically to that playbook. Yeah, I think that's good for Tommy. So let's move down to Crystal.
Hi.
Same deal, just kind of going over, you know, what your current label set is and the powers that you chose and so on.
Well, you know, being just so totally, completely normal and not pink and shiny and slightly see-through. The mundane's at maybe a -2. Freak might be at a +2. Because, yeah, and then a little bit of danger, a little bit of savior, a little bit of superior, because, like, people are squishy and easy to punch. So, you know, I'm just a little bit better. And then Crystal has, because she is made of a crystal that basically just regenerates itself and can grow very rapidly, she has the regeneration ability, so if she gets taken out, then she might come back, but she'll be a little bit different, or she won't remember things, or her powers will change, or something along those lines. And then her powers can also evolve and mutate because they are constantly changing, because the crystal is constantly changing. So she has a mind of their own as well.
Cool. I will just mention, for those who haven't played Masks, the knocked out happens when you are engaged in combat. Usually there's a narrative thing that happens and you end up taking a condition, which is like emotions pretty much, because you're emotional teenagers. No one actually dies in Masks. You just get angry and run away. If we're most people don't die in Masks.
Drop
It's
whales
fine.
on aircraft carriers.
You know,
It runs
it's
away. What?
Yeah, no one can do that. It's impossible. So if you end up marking all of your conditions at some point, then your character is basically taken out of the scene somehow, whether you are knocked out or kidnapped or what have you. So that's where the regeneration comes in, which is a different way out of that situation.
Yep.
So talk about your playbook extra here.
Alright, so my extra thing is the blank slate, because Crystal is so new to this world and doesn't really know anything about it. She has lessons of things that she has learned and internalized and that she attempts to embody throughout play. Her lessons are always keep a low profile around civilians, and I am an adorable monster.
Aw. Maybe you were born that way?
I mean, kind of. Really, just don't worry about what happened at the lab when I was born. It's
Maybe
fine.
I was formed this way in a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can go into the backstory of how you're formed. I think we're going to be hopping in when that has already happened.
Yeah, so I was created by the Reed Corporation, which is a medical company that was studying the crystals in the hopes of using the regenerative powers that they possess to aid in medical science. Uh, they hired one Professor Graham, who is a geologist, but he also teaches history at the Paracel School. And he kind of dinked around with the crystal because sometimes he likes to do unethical experiments regarding things. So think like Moira, but a teacher and with a child. So yeah, he kind of accidentally created me, and the reason was like, well, you did it, you get. And he was like, I don't wanna. Uh, and then, yeah, so I've been hanging out with him for a little, and I've just been getting fascinated by people, and I think dreams are cool. Everybody gets a dream journal.
Everyone but you, because
But
you don't
me.
sleep.
Sleep, because I'm a rock. I don't get to sleep.
All right. Well, I think that's good for Crystal. So let's talk about Katsumi over here. Go into your labels first. Because you are an outsider playbook here.
Yeah. So Katsumi is an alien. So they're very much superior in comparison to the humans, but they're also very freaky. They're neutral with savior and mundane, and then not very dangerous, sort of.
Okay, just tracking back on that. So you destroyed an entire planet.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Do you Sin know how that happened?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
from a spaceship, so
Okay.
yeah. It wasn't from Katsumi's own power source. So the where is it? Katsumi's home world is called Ninas. And then there's different planets around it. They were born on Ninus 96, which is planet Potania, which is the one they destroyed. So when you're of age, when Ninans are of age, so 16 in human years, they're set out to go destroy a planet or conquer it. And they all have their little spaceships that they go out, and it's like loaded up with stuff to destroy a planet if the people don't want to let them conquer it. So, and Katsumi pressed the wrong button at the wrong time, and it hit their planet, and Totania was destroyed. Yay.
Oh, this is good. Did you arrive with the planet destroying spaceship? Is that the one that crashed, or were you in the Kirby craft as part of your abilities?
The Kirby craft was
Okay.
the planet one.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Kirby craft is one of my moves, which is I have a vehicle from my home, and it looks like, so think of the Voltron lions, but it's black in color with golden accents, and it looks like a robotic dog based off a breed of from Ninas, but like the closest Earth version would be a Doberman dog. I just like Doberman dogs. And so when you enter through the spaceship, you enter through the mouth, so it leans down, lets you in. And the cockpit or control center would be in the head of the dog, but then there's like a sitting area and like a kitchen area for guests, or like a bed in like the stomach of the dog. Yeah. And it has like a little food, like in Star Trek where they have like the food creating food generation stations. It's like that. It creates anything you want except for potatoes or potato juice, because it requires potato juice as a fuel source, so it does not create that. Otherwise, it would be horrible. I don't know. And it's easily detectable because it's a dog flying through space. So those are the weaknesses, and the strengths are it's telepathic and size changing. Sizes range from the large spaceship version to like a dog sized version to a small keychain version. Yeah. And then the other moves are not so different after all. So when Katsumi talks about their home, stuff happens, and they can roll with Freak to decide how much they talk about their home and stuff. And then being in both worlds is the third move, where Katsumi can contact their people, and the people they would contact for that would be Skittles, their friend, who was also sent out to destroy or conquer a planet, and she successfully conquered her planet that she was set out to do. So that's who Katsumi would be contacting for that move. And Katsumi's powers are they're able to fly because that's the playbook. And they're pretty tough. But they also have radical shape-shifting, so they can shape-shift into different living creatures, like cats and dogs. And they have telepathy, so they can communicate with their ship, and mind blasts. So when they speak, it's not coming out vocally, it's coming out through minds. So nobody ever sees them actually talking. It's like you hear them in your voice, because that's how they spoke on their planet Ninus, and thus they refuse to fall to the inferior way of human communication of speaking verbally.
That sounds about right. And one thing I think you said this before. What was the ship that's crashing? The Kirby Craft one.
It's called Cheese. It's spelled Cheez, but pronounced cheese.
That's
cheese.
Z for Americans.
Yeah. Cheese, meaning great warrior in Neenan.
It's not American. Look at that head.
Exactly. All right, cool. And then we can go back up to Mithril to go over labels and powers.
Yes, so because Mithril is the transformed, their freak is the highest at 3, and the danger is at 2. But they're sitting at 0 for savior, which makes sense because Mithril is not really trying to be this crazy superpowered hero. She just wanted to be a competitive swimmer. She worked really hard for it, and now she obviously can't. And then superior is -1, and mundane is -1. For moves, She has Be the Monster. So when you frighten and intimidate others with your monstrous form, you can essentially make them flee. But there's consequences if you miss the roll, like you could frighten somebody that you don't mean to, or break something you don't mean to, or you feel like more of a monster in market condition. Another move is Not Human Enough. So when you directly engage a threat in a terrifying fashion, I can mark a condition and choose another option even if I miss. And then Transformed Coming for You is when you mark a condition, take +1 forward against the person you must blame for causing it, which is super useful because my other 2 moves can cause a condition. For at least my relationships, since our other 2 are from different, or like we have a newborn and an alien, Tommy's mainly my relationships, comforted me when I was at my lowest and knew me before I changed. So I probably knew him before we maybe lived in the same apartment complex or something when he was younger and he disappeared. Probably another reason why my parents don't like the whole superpowers thing is, they saw what happened with Tommy and the issues it can cause.
What's Ace like? And also, you're going to be Ace, right? I don't have to do this? Do I have to do this?
Both. That's up to you. Which do you think would be better for...
I think it'd be funnier if you did both of them, but
Okay,
it
I'll
might be more handy if I jump in from time to time and yell.
Well, you could
give me a vibe on him.
Okay.
They.
So he was created by the Vistari, who don't like a certain alien race that destroys planets. He's very noble. Like, his whole purpose is to, like, one, protect the host. So he refuses to let me take off the armor because, the world is dangerous and
You're
Earth is full of
incredibly
contaminants
squishy.
and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we're very squishy. So he's like, yeah, absolutely not. Since they're so noble and militaristic, very much kind of geared towards war and doing stuff. So when I just want to sit in my room and like play the Mims and mope about not being able to be a competitive swimmer anymore, we're constantly arguing because he wants to go out and do stuff or see the world or help people do this, that, and the other. But he's also a little bit more extreme. He hasn't really gained the humanity from being with me for very long yet because we're still new together. And we also fight for control quite a bit. Like, for the most part, I have control, but he can also take over. We'd be more effective if we would both let each other kind of do it, but we're not in agreement.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Do you share things like on a mental level as well? Like, if he heard, say, alien language that he knew, would he translate it? Like, would you just know it, or would he have to like tell you? Okay.
Yeah, it would try. So he's interfaced enough that, for the most part, I have access to certain things that I normally wouldn't. Kind of similar to like, in like, I don't know if you've played Mass Effect with the SAM. If you let the AI, but again, would be more effective though if we fully would meld. But we both want, like, I want my autonomy. He wants, or they want to meld like they're supposed to, but I'm a very resistant human that wants my own individualism.
All right. Let's say for role playing, I'll handle him during scenes where it's more like where there aren't many other NPCs, and you take over where there's like a ton of people, because otherwise I'm going to forget about him.
Okay.
So.
Also, I'll say you guys, they can make themselves heard if they want to, but usually it's me. I sound like I'm arguing with myself a lot of the time.
Excellent. Perfect. And there's I think in the character art that you have, there's like a little shoulder guy. Is that sort of like where sound would come from?
So their eyes will light up when they're speaking out loud, it's more of a for the humans or other life forms, because organics like something they can
look at.
Yeah, exactly. And just like kind of similar to like you see your like blue beetles and whatever, where they can create extra stuff. they can make that pauldron a little bit more manifested to where, it's almost like a little venom guy. Just to emphasize more.
Yelling at you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I have what I want to begin. All right, so let's go start with Tommy. Last scene, you were flying on a pterodactyl towards Halcyon City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any place in mind when you're flying that way, or was it just sort of like, here we go?
No. I mean, I knew that Sarah, my friend Sarah, Negative Space, had been there recently, and I mean, was mostly complaining about it. But I find that anything that Sarah complains about as being that's super dumb and meh is actually like super fun and cool. And I wanted to make sure that it's kind of a halfway. Kind of wanted to test out whether I'll be okay off the island. But also, I think Tommy convinced himself that like Aegis would chase the island more if he was there. Because he did kind of wreck a helicarrier.
He did kind of wreck a helicarrier.
So he figured if he like went to the island and then like was in the dome when it sank in some way that they would probably chase it. So like disappearing in the opposite direction was also kind of a way of protecting Dr. Darwin and all of his friends.
Yeah, so how's Tommy feeling? He's soaring above the air. There's probably like a wide panel shot of like Tommy riding the pterodactyl high above the sky. You see the coastline and Halcyon City approaching in the distance, in the middle ground there.
How Tommy is feeling? I think Tommy is feeling kind of guilty.
Oh, these conditions are being marked.
I think he was afraid, but then he wrecked a helicarrier. So I'm sorry. So he's not. Sorry, he was angry. But I think he's kind of also afraid because he doesn't know what to expect. Well, no, maybe he's just insecure. I think he's probably more insecure than afraid because he's not like, oh no, I'm gonna die. But it's just like, so he's feeling kind of guilty and insecure at the moment.
All right. So as he flies through the air, probably getting closer to the city, relatively close, probably going like, do I land here? What do you do with like,
why is there a smoking crater down by the docks? What's up with that?
Yeah. All those kinds of questions. You see another figure approach in the air on some sort of like hover bike, and on it is an older black woman wearing like an old-fashioned aviator hat with goggles pulled down on it, and is heading towards you. What do you do?
I mean, I've been around supers before. I'll ask my ride to kind of, hover or whatever, and I'll go, hi. Don't worry, he's friendly. He's friendly. Don't.
Oh yeah, she's like, yeah, I know. Kid, here, follow me this way. It's too hard to talk up here. And she starts heading down.
Okay.
Towards probably like a park situation. This whatever the central park of Halcyon City is.
Okay.
Off Central Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll swoop down and kind of, looking at the, like maybe it's night and so there's like beautiful, or like evening, so like the lights are on and, I'm looking at the big city, and I mean I've been in cities before, but it's really cool to see it from the air. So maybe take a little bit of a winding path through some skyscrapers.
Exactly. Tons of wide background shots that some poor artist has to draw. Tons of people wandering through, just like, don't describe. Oh, cool, like that. A big page spread on landing in the park and seeing people go like, huh? Well, whatever, superheroes.
Right.
So
I'll pet the pterodactyl and then kind of focus, and he kind of goes into mist.
she nods approvingly, parking her hover bike. I don't know if those park. Probably as a kickstand, just for reasons. And takes off her helmet. She's definitely an older woman, probably, I don't know, teens probably would say she's ancient, but probably closer to like late 50s, early 60s or something like that. Has gray, wavy, textured hair that sort of kept close to her head. When she takes
My
off her
best friend is
helmet.
180 years old, so
I know, but he's also a gorilla.
and he's a gorilla in a top hat. So who am I to judge?
Exactly. Who knows? Ancient. All of them, and even over 25, ancient. So she takes her off her hat and says, "Let me have a look at you." Oh, yes, Tommy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah, the doctor, Dr. Darwin.
I thought you might be with Aegis or something.
Oh, no, not with those clowns. No, Dr. Darwin sent me a quick note, said he ran into a spot of trouble, said to look out for you. You're pretty easy to spot. Looks like you've grown since the last holiday card he sent.
Oh, so you do know the doc.
Yeah. Our family goes way, way back. So, Professor Odd, nice to meet you in person. She reaches out a hand for a handshake.
He'll like wipe it off, make sure it's nice and clean, and shake it.
Exactly. So, you're staying with me now.
Oh,
So, I don't know if you want a ride or to make another one of those pterodactyl things. We'll get into the details later, I'm sure, but we can't just have children running around the city without some sort of supervision. You know how it is. She is ignoring your disgusted facial expressions.
but I am a little insecure, so I don't think Tommy wants to assert himself. It's like, well, how far is it?
Oh, just a few. No, we're over here. Downtown's that way. Just fast by here. Just hop on the bike.
Okay. I was gonna ride, but fine.
Yeah. She does not make good small talk on the way.
Well, this thing is loud. I'm used to like flying with just the occasional.
Exactly. She mumbles. She'll probably, if you say it's loud, she's like, "Oh well," and she'll start talking about whatever techno babble you need to talk about how the hell technology will work and why it's loud but incredibly fuel efficient. Really, better than etc. etc. And so that's the end of that scene. Let's see who's next. Mithril. How long would it be until your parents contacted Professor Odd to help with the situation?
I don't want to say immediately, but pretty close that they would be looking for somebody to help figure out the suit, how to get it removed. They don't trust Aegis because they think they're going to turn me into some government superhero agent. That's the last thing they want. They don't want me to be a superhero. So it's too dangerous.
Okay. Yeah. Professor Odd definitely is not the best choice, but that doesn't matter because what other choice do they have?
Especially if she reaches out to them and then they're going to go for whatever they think that.
I actually think that it's your dad who reaches out to her. Maybe your mom. I don't know if either of them had a particular interest in science or something like that, but I think she is known to them as an instructor who's known for dealing with weird alien things.
Probably the mom more so then, because my dad was a swimmer as well. So
okay. Do you think this would be at the hotel, like the swim meet is still going on, or after it's done, you're back home?
I mean, they would have pulled me from the competition. I can't compete,
but
obviously, once I'm in a full suit armor. So.
Like, they're still there. Your dad was still the coach. So it's like, are you just going to stay at the hotel or, that kind of thing?
No, I think he would have prioritized me over. I'd be like, this is more important than this swim competition. You guys got this.
Okay, you guys got it. So, you're at home. There's some panel that shows like the exterior of the home. There's a light upstairs, and it's probably you in the suit, probably playing the Mims, I would guess, in your room, door shut, that kind of thing.
Yeah, crowbars and stuff on the floor. Trying to pry off.
Exactly. Let's see.
Probably at that point, I'm not playing the Mims. I'm probably freaked out about this crazy super suit and just like crying in the corner.
Crying in the corner. And Ace is all like, crying won't solve everything. Really, you should look at this as an opportunity to be serving the Great Galactic Empire,
And more tears.
They're there, human. It is fine. They're there.
Did you just get off me?
No, you are very weak.
Who says that to somebody?
Listen, I'm just stating facts. I don't understand why you're so upset about them. Your heart rate is going up immensely. Here, let me settle you down.
What?
It'll some AI stuff happen. I don't know. Is that something you can do? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're settling down now.
Kind of tired.
Getting kind of tired. You can, if that makes you actually feel other conditions, you can mark any of those, knowing that this robot guy's just, changing a general feel.
Oh yeah, I am very afraid.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're just stacking up the conditions right away, just based on feelings. This is great.
Oh yeah, hopeless and yeah, I think those are the two. Well, maybe insecure.
Yeah,
I don't think I've hit angry yet. That'll come though.
Oh yeah, for sure. From outside, you hear a whirring noise. It sounds like a, I don't know, weird car. And you hear your parents head towards the door. What do you do?
That's not like some of your friends, is it?
I do not have many friends here on Earth.
I'm gonna like slowly get up and kind of creep to peek out.
From there, you see who we now know as Professor Odd, walking towards the house and entering. You hear indistinct murmuring, probably greetings between her and your parents. What do you do?
What are they saying?
Well, eavesdropping isn't the most noble of pursuits.
Oh my god, then shut up so I can hear.
Well, if you insist, go ahead and roll to unleash your powers.
4, 3, so 7. What is unleash powers with again?
Reek.
Oh, perfect. 7, so 10.
Perfect. All right. So, with Ace's assistance, though, I believe you get a constant, like, muttering, like, a sense of disapproval the entire time. Like, not verbalized, just you feel it intently. Maybe the neck just kind of creeps around and, like, looks at you because he knows that's more effective.
I'll just...
Exactly. So you start catching the conversation that you're having. You hear your mom Maria. She's oh, thank you so much for coming, Professor. And Professor Odd's like, so I heard you ran into some trouble. It was over the local news, at least. She's like, oh, yeah, so you're aware of the situation, and I just thought with your background, you might be able to help get the armor off. I mean, Aegis has been around left and right, and I don't, and you hear Professor Odd, the same kind of like, yeah, those guys kind of thing, and your dad starts talking like, well, yeah, we just don't, like, you don't want her to, like, go out and start just being a superhero because she touched something in the ocean. Professor Odd's making more or less sympathetic noises, though perhaps they don't sound very sincere. I think that Ace can give you that commentary. Ace is also like, yeah, okay.
No, you're the situation, by the way. You didn't pick
like,
that up.
oh, yes, I understand, but I think this is really something that the two of us are, you know, and then you ignore Ace. And Professor Odd says, well, let's go talk with them. And her mom's like, oh yeah, let me show you up there. She's like, I'll speak with her alone if that's all right.
Quickly, like, go back into my room, act casual, like, just have a magazine.
Yeah, upside down, probably. And Professor Odd knocks and then immediately enters because that's how she works. She says, I see it is, she'll say, is it Meryl?
Yeah, or my friends call me Ms.
Ms. Okay. Ms. And then, and this is, oh, an adaptive symbiotic exoskeleton. You're lucky, you. And she starts speaking Vistari to address Ace and says, designation number? And Ace rattles off some numbers. Finally, someone who understands the great language of our people. Also in Vistari, you understand it, Ms. It's probably a little distressing in a general sense. And they began a quick negotiation that you're probably following on with, like, Professor Odd's like, you could not be on her. And Ace is all like, it's destiny. And I presume a lot of other legal term, like, it's like a legal conversation happening. So it's probably just as exciting as any teenager listening to lawyers speak about contracts.
I think he's also fused to, like, my spine and stuff at this point, so that he can actually do stuff like translate languages and things.
Exactly. He's all like, well, we already did the bonding situation, and I proceeded with the, you know, warrior blah 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 fusion as we proceeded with. And she's like, you didn't do the right thing, and he's just like, well, I can't. And just, you know, a fairly long conversation, but in detail. And Professor Odd seems to understand, and she's all like, well, Ms., congratulations on your new armor. It's fused with your spine. I'm sure you know. You heard, right? Of course. It talks with your mind and stuff.
Yeah, but you can get it off, right? Because, like, I have, you know, swim meets coming up, and I'm in my junior year. The college scouts are coming out. I can't miss a bunch of, like, this is prime time for me to be doing these swim competitions and these showcase tournaments and everything.
Professor Odd goes and finds a chair in the room to sit down across from you. In a normal way, not the real talk way. And goes, sometimes in your life, there will become a circumstance where something changes your life plans. And this, Ms., is one of those times.
Yeah, but I want to change it back.
It cannot be changed back.
Not with that attitude.
Well, okay, if you would like to die, we can look at some ways to maybe resurrect you after we remove the AI.
Okay, no.
Okay, so we're on a better page here.
We're not even in the same library, it sounds like, but okay.
Yeah, so when a Vistari exoskeleton fuses with you, it cannot be removed. No offense to Ace, but I think there might have been a little defect in their program, probably why they're left here. So they fused without initiating the proper contract. And Ace is all like, there's nothing wrong with my programming. I'm perfect Vistari technology.
Debatable.
And Professor Odd's nodding, like, yeah. So, for now, you'll be a Vistari warrior, if you will.
I will not.
Well, you don't have to fight. You don't have to do the hero business. I can see if I can do a little more research. Obviously, I'm fairly well versed in a few of the alien species that come to Earth from time to time. But it won't be something that happens in just a few days, weeks, months, years.
Years?
Well, we can see if we can find some technology at some part, but I don't want to get your hopes up as to what I can offer. What I can offer is my laboratory space, my research, my general expertise on alien technology. And here Aces are like, I'm the expert on Ventari technology, you know.
The humans are talking.
Well, you're both idiots. Professor Oz just like, yes, this one's a little overbearing.
Yeah, speaking of idiots, do you know any, like, no offense, but, like, smarter professors that might be able to get the armor off?
No. So at any rate, let me talk with your parents and we'll see what we can do.
You're gonna try, right?
She smiles as she leaves the room and shuts the door.
You're gonna try, right?
All right. We can end that scene. And let's see, who are we? I think Katsumi. Your ship is crashing. How's that going for you? We can see it now. It's the dog, right? It's a large dog is just like careening towards Earth, probably conveniently towards some empty fields just outside Halcyon that are like, aliens crash here, please, or whatever, you know. So how what's that look like for you inside your ship as it is crashing on Earth?
There's a lot of flashing lights, definitely. There was probably some sort of training that we did back home in case of emergency, because some of the terrains of the planets that they send us out to conquer are not so great. So just in case you crash land there, there's probably some sort of stuff you gotta do. So Katsumi's going through that and trying to prepare for some sort of escape plan type deal. Doing all the Hail Marys, but like Nina's version of a Hail Mary type
All right.
deal.
So go ahead and roll just roll to take a powerful blow as your ship comes in for the crash land.
Alrighty. So a 5.
Perfect. So you can go ahead and mark a potential. And you can describe how you crash land your ship with minimal injury.
So Katsumi remembers some sort of evasive maneuver, grabs a hold of the steering console that's telepathic, and just tries to aim it so it's not going head down first, but like sort of like turns so it like it goes nicely, but then still is a bumpy ride down and slides.
There's a little rock skip at the end, like boom, 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 across the field until it comes to a stop. Katsumi, you emerge onto this conveniently empty field on Earth, the planet that was closest by when your ship was having some troubles on your way to escape. I think the wrath of the entirety of your people, almost the entirety of your people, and you are surveying the situation when, as would appear, the sound effect, the whir again of the hover bike as it approaches. And there you see, as we know, Professor Odd, who comes up to your crash landing site on her hover bike. What do you do?
First, I click a button, and cheese just shrinks down into a keychain mode and just puts that away, and it's like...
I hope it sounds like a regular car key fob whenever you hit it, like a boop boop.
Definitely. Hello, fellow human. I am lost.
You are Nikos, right? Says Professor Odd as she strides towards you, speaking in your people's language. She's not telepathic, but she can muster through the words decently.
And who's asking?
I'm Professor Odd. I'm doing you a favor. Do you know how hard it is to hide a whole alien spacecraft from from Aegis? They track all of the aliens that come in. It's a hard one to keep hidden, especially, she says, and she pulls out like a little hollow disc and she hits play on it. Up pops a little, like it's like a news feed from your planet, and it's like pictures of the world you destroyed. Like apparently there was enough time that most people, like, there's little escape crafts flying away from it right before there's the impending, destruction. And like a newsreel of like most wanted, blah blah blah. Have you seen this person? And it's definitely you, and stuff like that. She's like, especially with this broadcast going around, I really want to ask what exactly happened, but your friend Skittles, was it, definitely told me that you were cool and it was just a misunderstanding and she didn't mean it. So I'll take her at her word. You need a place to hide out for a while?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably is correct. Well, I have just the place for you. Just make sure that self-destruct thing on the planet doesn't work on your ship right now, okay? I'll take a look at it actually later. Just make sure that we won't have any problems. And I think that's it for that scene. Crystal, this way. You are at Professor, what's his name again? Professor Graham's house, which I think is probably some sort of actually like sleek condo situation downtown one of
The
the
building has been bought out and renamed the Reed Youth Center, and it's literally just to house me there.
Yeah. Exactly. Bought out this cool building. So what are you doing, Crystal, in this house for you?
I think I'm in my room, which of course is covered in glittery pink paint with like pink shag carpets, pink bedspread, pink lampshades, pink curtains. There's like the little like princess thing over the bed, like the drape.
Oh yeah.
And I think I'm on like, a bright pink laptop, very carefully looking up like people's dream journals and just reading them that have been posted online, taking extensive notes.
Good. How long have you been in this house?
I think it's probably been like a month and a half since I came to be, because I needed time to like learn everything, but I picked up on it pretty quick, so I can read and write and talk and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, probably about a month and a half.
Okay. It's been pretty chill. I think Professor Graham hasn't really interacted, like minimal interaction, just enough to be like, oh, here's the internet, have fun.
Yeah, I also stole his credit card.
Yeah.
My room's pink.
I bet you did, and he was still unhappy yet didn't have a good reason to challenge it. I mean, it was probably corporate expensed anyway. So you hear the doorbell ring. What do you do?
Nobody ever rings the doorbell. I'm gonna go answer the door.
Perfect. I love that. You go and answer the door, and behind the door, you see who we know to be Professor Odd, standing there, who's looking at human height, and then the door opens, and then she looks down, and says, "Ah, I see, and you must be Crystal."
That's me.
So pink. She says, "May I enter?"
Who are you?
I am Professor Odd. Professor Graham was expecting me, and then you see Professor Graham's like walking briskly down the hallway and is like, "Crystal, why did you open the door?"
Because nobody ever rings the doorbell. Except the Amazon people. Except the people that are supposed to be delivering my pink posters and art in the next couple days. So I thought it was a package.
Well, at any rate, he basically gets Professor Odd in so he can slam the door shut and say, see what I have to deal with, he says to her, and she's all like, yes, it is a real shame to deal with children suddenly thrust upon you. How long? He's like, a month and a half this day, and he starts talking about what actually happened at the incident. I don't know if Crystal's actually paying attention to that. What does Crystal do when they start the adult conversation?
I think she just kind of like walks and stands next to Professor Odd. Is just like looking up and staring, but not absorbing the content. It's the trailer. It's like, don't you know what's going on inside my head? But it's Crystal trying to think of what this woman dreams about.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so at some point he probably notices you staring and turns to look back. And so like, all right. I, Misha, would immediately try to scoop up this crystal child, but I don't think Professor Odd would do that. And she goes, yes.
What do you dream about?
What do I dream about? I dream about nothing too much, actually. I usually don't remember my dreams.
And Professor Graham will never tell me his dreams. He's kind of a butt.
Is he? She says, and Professor Graham scowls. I believe at this point the conversation moves and continues over a dinner. I don't know if does Crystal eat things like rocks? Does Tuff's internet struggle? Yes.
Yes.
That was a
Only
great
when you
freeze frame,
speak.
though.
Yeah, you're good.
Close. Okay. Crystal can eat. I think she can eat really anything. It just gets absorbed into the crystal and disappears. So, but she, where it's kind of weird because you can see it going down her throat when she eats.
Yeah, Professor Odd's all like, oh, fascinating that this is happening. Graham's just whatever, because he's already watched this a lot for his research.
Yeah.
And then at some point, Professor Odd will turn to you and say, Crystal, how would you like to stay at my house for a while? I have plenty of space and some other people there that you might be interested in talking.
Get to meet people?
Yes. Professor Graham thinks that it would be good for you to get out and about, and I'm known for finding aliens. You can just be one, and no one will have to know any other details.
Can I bring all my stuff with me?
Yes, you may bring all of your stuff with you.
Good. Yes, I'm in.
Perfect.
Professor Graham doesn't like me. It's okay.
He was actually quite clear about that. And Graham's like, finally, she knows. Good. Bring her back here for any research that we need to have done as we figure this out. And Professor Odd nods and says, well, you owe me for this one, all right? I can't keep bailing you out when you mess around with powers that cannot be. And he's all like, well, what about the incident in 99? She's like, okay, fine. I'll pay you back for that one. And then that might be a bit too far for his age, but that's fine. Pick a different date. Or time travel, who knows?
Probably
So
unethical experimentation to keep himself young.
yeah. Probably seems likely.
Yeah.
So basically this is how all of you were collected by Professor Odd and brought to her estate. I think we'll follow Crystal for this one. She's probably the last one to arrive. I think Tommy was there first, followed shortly by Ms. And then later on, Katsumi and Crystal are probably close to arriving at the same time. So this is probably the time where Tommy and Myth are hanging out, so we might do a scene there. But to introduce the place, Crystal, she's like tells you to go pack up your stuff, and you get a hover bike ride over to her property, which is on. It's sort of like the middle west downtown area. It's like what used to be the suburbs a long time ago when Halcyon was a smaller city, but is now definitely encompassed in the city, but it's one of the more rundown areas in Halcyon, more or less speaking. The estate is a full city block. It has brick walls around the majority of it with like wrought iron fences, probably some kind of ivy growing around thing, you know, to make it look extra spooky. It has the the main gate that I think she just probably flies over because she has a hover bike. Says like the Odd Estate and Asylum in an archway, old wrought iron stuff, and there is a large courtyard with trees. There is definitely an asylum building, not active. Not that Crystal would have the context for this, but you know, it's been converted into many rooms, to be honest, for everyone, many rooms that are also filled with a wide variety of experimental things, like also like any type of science thing that's there. It's, you know, all over the place. And each room's a different like experimental vibe situation. You got chemistry tubes, you got Ouija boards, you got, you know, you can probably find most things around if you're poking around. I think there's probably also a more of like an actual house situation, probably where on-site staff used to be, or like part of the Odd Estate itself. And I think that's probably where everyone's rooms are, is a large older house. And she takes you there to a room that it was probably hastily emptied. It has some sparse furniture in there, and Crystal, you are instructed to decorate everything. So let's go back a bit. Tommy, you were probably there when Ms. showed up one day. Yeah. So, and I think that Professor Odd holds importance on like at least having a meal together at dinner, because that's what you do, to talk about your day, or maybe just look at the internet on your phone, whatever. You just have to be there. So.
Is this... have we met before? I think maybe not. I think this might be our first time.
Well, Ms. knows you, but not as Mithril.
Oh, okay. So before he went to go live on the island.
Right. So you would have been, I don't know, how old were you?
I am like 16, 15, 16.
Okay, yeah. So we would have known each other.
Okay.
How old are you now?
No, that's how old he is now.
Oh, how old were you when you left your house?
I'm going to say probably, well, we had to run around for a number of years after I was 5. So maybe 12, 13. I think I've probably spent like a year with Dr. Darwin. So 14, 15. And we can adjust that if the timeline works better.
I'm just trying to think if my character would recognize you, because if we were like 8 or something, I might not recognize you at first. But if we were like
this would
teenagers,
be like a year or 2 ago, so pretty obvious. And if you don't recognize him, you certainly recognize his friends, because they're everywhere.
Yeah, you at this point have probably lost track of the number of times that Professor Odd said, "Put that away," and gesturing at whatever animal is around.
And then it just runs away because all my animals think she's scary.
Yeah.
I was like, well, now I can't find it.
Well, go find it and put it away. You know, like she tolerates a certain level of animal, but at some point she'll just like, there are 200 squirrels in the yard. Come on.
Yeah, kitten crabs climbing up the curtains.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when Mithril comes to dinner one day, or the first night, I guess, and she sees Tommy, she's gonna probably be like, Tommy, is that you?
Yeah. Have we...
Oh, no.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
She-
you mean
she
you know
told me.
each other? Says
No,
Professor Odd unhelpfully. Tommy, this is Meryl or Ms. Mizuko.
Yeah, we used to live in the same building.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember now. You sure look different.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Debatable.
See, I'm cool.
Shut up.
I mean, now it's kind of cringe.
Not you.
but-
Sorry. Not
No,
you,
you can't hear
Tommy.
that.
Oh, I can't hear it,
didn't mean
okay.
to. I wasn't saying shut up to you, Tommy. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. No, it's really cool. I've been hanging out around with some friends who like have all kinds of like. Do you have like powers now?
Not by choice. It's temporary.
It most
Until I
certainly
get
is
the
not
suit
temporary.
It's
He says again.
temporary.
We're fused
For now.
forever.
Why are you gonna be so creepy about it?
I'm not creepy.
You're super creepy. You're like a weird little dragon thing on my shoulder.
That's to make you feel better. Humans love dragon things. See? And the dragon thing will turn and smile at Tommy.
I'm so sorry for it.
Chubby dragon
They.
on the on the dining room table,
Oh,
and it will just kind of like
Yeah,
toddle over and like
Lord.
hi, wave at the big dragon.
Not on the table, says Professor
They
Odd.
don't poop or anything.
Don't? Well, don't they just exist?
They don't eat or poop. They're pure life force. They don't need to consume things.
All right, but it's knocked over the glasses.
Well, yeah. Tiny monkeys come and start picking up all the glasses.
Thank you.
I've gotten a lot better at the making things. It's much more controlled now. I was living with a guy on an island, and his name was Dr. Darwin, and he was a 200-year-old gorilla or something, and he was really nice, and he wore a top hat. And he had pandadillos, which is like an armadillo and a panda. And if you like, I mean, don't ask me about the toothbrushes, but so he had all kinds of really cool stuff. It was awesome. And then he just attacked and the island had to swim away, and so I came here.
Like, you can't see her facial expressions. It looks just like a blank helmet stare. Cool.
Which is fine. I dibs on the big room because of,
No, yeah, that makes sense.
cool. Um,
Mm,
oh, can't because you don't have hair. Polish ferret.
what?
A little ferret is going to crawl all over you and polish your armor.
Oh, this is nice, Ace says out loud. Thank you.
Oh, wow, it talks. That's cool. Is it like your best friend?
Unfortunately, no.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's kind of cool. None of my friends really talk much.
He doesn't stop talking. It,
Oh.
they, whatever the.
Cool, so it's like a metal dragon. That's really awesome.
Dragons
You're more
are
than
one of the
welcome
most
to have him.
dragons are one of the most noble earth mythological creatures. I've heard about it in my databases.
They're super cool. They're nothing compared to corkipedes, though. They're my favorite.
Oh, can we see some?
Pete's.
Yes.
Professor Oz just like, oh. So I guess we cut to another day when Katsumi arrives. I think it was probably in the middle of the night when it crashed, so it is probably the next day when you see her about the premises.
Hey, let's play keep away.
What?
Miz, let's play keep away out in the yard.
But keep away from who?
No, well, maybe that's the wrong word. You know the thing where like you've got something and you're trying to keep it, and I'm trying to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try.
Typically, you do that with like two people, and you're like bullying the third person.
Well,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, so I think Katsumi comes in to see a improvised game of like tag or whatever. Only it's random, bizarre creatures. Miz probably remembers that Tommy could do this, but he's clearly been practicing because it's tough. It's a lot of monkeys, big furry snakes, weird bumblebee bats, only like proper bumblebee bats. So they're like yellow and black striped, just swarms of them. Oh, I almost got you there.
Yeah, we need to come up with a rule with how many animals.
Oh, hi. There's someone here.
The second that Aces sees Katsume, immediately like turns into a giant cannon and tries to fire.
Whoa! Stop doing it!
Can you roll to directly engage a threat?
Oh god.
Wow.
Oh god. Okay, I got a 10.
Oh, can I roll to protect with my fantastic savior?
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh god, yeah, because with danger, that's a 12.
Oh, Jeebus. Wow.
That count as a fail?
No.
No, you're very successful. Good job.
I got an 8.
Aces is really glad about your all this training you've been doing. So
at 8 I will protect them, but there's a complication. So
okay.
I think I will expose myself to harm.
Cool. So let's say you
It's a 10 because I'm afraid.
Ah, yes, very good. Still incredibly successful. So you I'm just going to do all this for Aces because you are not really involved other than rolling the dice. So Aces turns into like a giant cannon, and you can hear him, Mithril, saying like, we're under attack by the Neans. You know, they destroyed planets. I'll make quick work of this one. So the cannon goes. The I presume swarm of animals you try to position. Okay.
No, because Tommy doesn't think that having animals in front would stop it, so he blocks it.
All right, so you go in to block it.
Dive.
I think in one of those like tackle kind of situations, and
taking the bullet.
Exactly. So you're hit by it, and the complication is that the two of you are tangled up awkwardly. You know, in the way where you're like lying on the ground and she's on top of you, and it's like one of those things. Sin and Tough know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Now, how powerful is the blast, though?
Yeah, if he's trying to kill Katsumi, who is an alien that's stronger than a human.
It's probably pretty powerful.
Maybe Tommy is disintegrated or something.
Well, you just want to come back to life from the life field. How about you roll to take a powerful blow? See how that goes for you.
Yeah. Plus conditions. 8 plus 2 is 10.
Yeah. Go ahead and pick your poison for the take a powerful blow, which includes you must remove yourself from the situation, flee, pass out, etc.
He is removed from the situation. He is obliterated.
Cool. Well, this will be fine for everyone here.
No, not traumatizing at all.
So, so Tommy's gone. What do you two do? I think
Freak
Aces
out.
is immediately trying to fire again because
Stop! You just killed Tommy! Are you kidding me?
some sacrifices must be made for the
Aces
way
is
of
the
progress.
worst.
Oh my god, you're so defective! Stop! Somebody stop me! Somebody help! I'm trying to, like, rein it back in.
How about you roll to unleash your powers as a try to stop Aces from doing things?
Okay, well, I got a 3, and I think that's... -2 is 1, but +3. So... yeah, that's a fail.
You we have, I think, several boons. But I'm willing to take this PvP. Aces is here to play.
I mean, Katsumi will survive it, right?
Probably.
This works out in my favor. Maybe it'll convince Professor Odd that Ace needs to go.
Probably more like Ace needs reprogramming. Yeah, poor Crystal. There was going to be a team.
I was gonna have friends. Now they're all dead.
Professor Odd going to walk into the room and be like, "Oh, right, I should have known."
Yeah, Miz is just like yelling, screaming, asking for other people to help. That she's not doing it, she can't control it. And
All right.
probably starts crying because she killed Tommy. I think she killed Tommy.
Yeah, and Aces is not helpful. Katsumi, roll to take a powerful blow as Aces fires again.
That's a 3.
Oh,
That's
well,
good.
you're fine. Go ahead and mark potential, and then say how you weather the blow.
You're welcome. It's probably because I helped.
Yeah. Katsumi. Oops. They see the kid disappear after taking the blow. It was a human. Yeah. Don't really care. And then the other one looks like they're doing stuff again. And just, nope. So she just dips out into the nearest window to take cover.
So Katsumi dives through a window, breaking the glass, most likely, as the blow goes through, and Ace says, "Ah, they're so tricksy. Well, come along. We'll get it around outside."
No!
And at this point, Professor Odd walks in, and is just like, "What's going on here, Aces?"
I killed Tommy!
Oh, jeez. Now, how much did Dr. Darwin tell her?
I don't
Most
think she. I
fascinating.
don't think she knows.
Yeah, I don't think she knows. And she's just like, ah.
Doing that thing where, like, I'm crying, so I'm not really able to convey
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to say. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, calm down. Aces, stop. And Aces will probably tell her, like, well, there's a minion here who's trying to destroy the planet, so we must. And she'll be like, I see. Yes, she's supposed to be here. She's our guest. We do not kill guests, and we don't kill humans. That's bad. And Ace is like, well, he shouldn't have gotten in the way. I was clearly aiming the blast at the alien. The Nenian, the bad one, you know. Professor Oz just like, well, Dr. Darwin's sure going to be yelling at me about this one. At any rate, calm her down, and she'll walk outside to see where Katsumi has been. What do you guys do?
Apparently, I'm being sedated.
You might be. Do you want to fight it?
Yes.
You can roll to unleash your powers. I think that's what it is. I feel like there could be another thing, but I think this is good enough to fight aces is unleashing your powers. How's it going? Getting a lot of potential here?
Maybe. Yep, I'm getting, yep. I was hoping with the, but no.
All right.
Okay. I forgot because the minus. I also marked guilty because now I'm guilty about killing Tommy.
We only have to get angry about getting sedated, and we'll have the full set.
Uh-oh.
Yes, aces will start calming you down and like playing meditative music and like a breathing exercise thing. You know, that humans like to calm down.
I don't like ASMR.
Well, we can change it. I see you don't like this. Ocean noises?
You just killed my friend.
They're there.
Stop saying there.
But it's clearly a human comfort noise.
You don't know anything about humans. So for how to kill them.
I've been on
apparently.
Earth a very long time. I know many.
You've been in the
Many.
ocean.
That may be true, but I have been here. Katsumi, what are you doing?
Katsumi probably found a tree to sit in and is like, why am I here again? There's these crazy people. Humans are weird.
Professor Odd will see you up the tree and be like, Katsumi forgot to mention that one of our guests here has Vistari armor. I probably should have seen that one coming, but it'll probably be fine. Just they know not to shoot at you. It should be fine if you talk and maybe just go find your room instead. I need to go look up some rituals. So I will be back in a few.
Cool. Katsumi's gonna find another window to climb into to get into the
I hope you break into that one as well. Just like cool glass, slam.
Definitely.
I don't understand why humans put these barriers on their entryways.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So how long does it take Tommy to come back?
When the scene switches.
All right. Well, I think we're done with this scene.
When Mithril wakes up, pack him up bags.
It's too soon. We just got here.
Right. Hey, what you doing?
Tommy!
Yeah.
I killed you!
I know,
mean,
it
Ace
kinda-
killed you.
It kind of stung.
What? Are you... I like, go to, like, touch him.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. So, yeah, so if I die, I just go into the white room and then I come back.
The white room?
Mm-hmm. It's like an infinite white space that's full of pure life essence.
Good enough for me, and I'll like hug him, or maybe it's probably a
You're
little too
strong and
tight.
sharp.
Yeah.
Accidentally kill him again.
Tell your dragon it shouldn't shoot people.
I told you he wasn't cool. That thing.
Yeah, dragons don't just go around killing. Well, actually,
Effective ones
real
do.
dragons, good dragons that are honorable, don't just go around killing people. Ace.
The Nenians are known for destroying planets and subjugating people. This would be disastrous for the people of Earth if left unchecked. But I've been informed that this one is fine, so I guess I'll ask first if they're a guest of the professor before I shoot next time.
That seems smart.
How about you ask me? That way I'm not an unwilling accomplice in murder.
That also sounds like a good idea.
Somehow the dragon rolls its eyes. All's well that ends well. And at this
I'm
point,
trying the crowbar again.
Professor Odd walks by holding like some sort of weird ancient relic tome and then goes, "Oh, Tommy, you're fine." Shuts book.
I mean, I got blown to pieces.
Right.
I should probably be angry about it, but I'm not. Because Dr. Darwin has been teaching me emotional self-control.
That's good. That's a good thing to have when getting, blown to bits.
Yeah.
It's related to the life energy stuff.
Yeah.
Can you try harder on getting him off now that you see he's this defective killing machine?
Yes, I think I'll redouble my efforts on that one. Aces.
Double
Aces just
zero
like,
is 0.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that. And she leaves the room.
Hey,
And at this point,
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say we should go say hi to the new kid.
With him,
Ace, you said you were gonna be good, right?
Yes.
I don't trust it.
Okay, well, here's a way that you can learn to trust is by going and making sure that he's gonna like say what he means and mean what he says.
At the risk of blowing up some kid.
Well, I'll just jump in front again. I don't mind.
Does that
I'm
not
very-
like take a toll on you, or
Not really.
that's cool?
I mean, it's kind of weird, but
Yeah, but if you ever got this weird defective suit stuck on you, you could just like and then come back without it on.
probably.
Must be nice.
I mean, kind of, I guess. But anyway, maybe they'll like puppies. I can do puppies.
Everybody likes puppies.
Hey, new kid, where are you?
You hear a distant crash through another window.
Okay. You know there's a door over there.
I'm
You're
gonna keep my distance a little bit and peek out.
You're from like
Yeah,
another
no.
planet or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doors where I come from, that's where the dead go through, so
Yeah, not here.
no.
Not here though. So maybe go through the door. Or like open the window before you go in it. I can't
Those
really
are
make like
odd.
carpenters.
Like collect aliens or something.
Maybe. Professor Odd apparently like their family goes way back with Dr. Darwin, my friend I was telling you about. That means they're probably
Speaks
cool.
Mistari. Like she could speak the alien language of my AI.
Oh, that's really cool. She must be super
She has
smart.
a weird accent, though.
No one asked you.
So this is Ms. And I'm Tommy. Who are you?
Sorry for trying to kill you earlier. It wasn't me. It was the stupid
It was
defective
me.
dragon.
I'm Aces. And the dragon glares at you, Katsumi.
Katsumi glares back at the dragon.
Do you guys like know each other or something? Oh, no, right. You're from a species of people who conquer planets and subjugate them.
Yeah, I'm sorry for my racist AI.
Well, are you from a race of a group of people who destroy planets and subjugate entire races?
Can I use my move Not So Different After All when I talk about my home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, that's a 6. So on a miss, you inadvertently reveal more about yourself than you planned. Tell them a secret or vulnerability you haven't shared with Earthlings before now. So, yeah.
Okay, follow-up question. Have you ever tried to conquer a planet or subjugate people?
I did.
Okay, follow up to the follow up. Are you here to conquer and subjugate Earth? Because that's like, I mean, it's kind of cool, but not really.
Aces
I
is just
really
like,
don't want to admit the stupid defective dragon was right.
the Aces is basically like, see, in your head. Like, yeah.
Katsumi pulls out their like little device thingy that they can use to communicate with Skittles. And it's just like looking through the solar system for a minute. It's like, so I'm here. Yeah, yeah.
I don't like the hesitation on her answer.
I know that's kind of sus.
The fact that it wasn't just like an immediate no.
I mean, if someone were to ask me, are you here to conquer the Earth and destroy and subjugate its people? I would just be like, oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't pull out some weird alien device and then... Aces charge the gun up just in case.
Aces is like, heck yeah. starts the engine, so to speak.
I don't want to die again today. Can we just calm down? Besides,
It whirs up and then whirs down a little bit.
So, what's your name?
I don't want to kill anybody.
Are you here to subjugate Earth?
Name is Nikos Katsumi Scarlet or Katsumi. Subjugate. No? Question mark.
So you like haven't decided yet?
Well, you see, my plan was to, or I was told to destroy a planet. Kind of already did that, so I guess I'm good to go.
Planet with like living beings on it?
Yeah.
Like millions or billions of living beings on it?
Yep.
Like
Professor?
on purpose?
Usually it is, but in this case it was an accident. My hand slipped, kind of. Yeah.
Professor Odd will poke her head into the room at this point. Yes, Ms.?
He blew up a whole planet and is gonna try to subjugate Earth.
Well,
She said she's undecided, but that's basically the same thing.
Yeah, to be
No,
fair, it's
they're
like,
usually undecided.
maybe not. I don't know.
Well, that's mostly a no for a need, to be honest. You told them about the planet. You're really bad at hiding from the law, aren't you? Yes. She blew up a Nedian planet, if that makes you feel better, Ace.
What does that mean?
Her own people.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Thankfully, there are minimal casualties. It takes a bit for the destroying to happen. They're all spacefaring, obviously. But not great. Generally not great. I'm doing someone a favor keeping her here. So... And we aren't going to subjugate Earth. Yes, that's correct, Katsumi. We're not subjugating Earth. Repeat that after me.
We are not subjugating Earth.
That sounded more or less confident. Very good. And we're not destroying planets. Repeat.
We are not destroying planets.
Very good. See, nothing to worry about. Have a good chat.
Okay. Well, so there's a couple other rules. Number one, I get the big room because I need it for my friends. And two, if you ever feel like you need to subjugate anyone, let me know. And I'll make you people you can subjugate. Well, not people, but I'll make you something that you can subjugate. Okay?
I know.
Okay, cool.
And if you hear arguing from my room, it's just TV.
There's no TV in our rooms, though.
There.
That's fine. It's fine.
You only talk with me in the room, though, Miss. I don't...
She probably doesn't know what TV is anyway.
Oh, it's true.
Well, let's show you around.
We arguing?
I wonder if it's like, is Dr. Odd like, is this gonna be it? The three of us? Yo,
Cut to
okay.
2 hours later when Crystal is dropped off after Professor Odd runs an errand. Introductions are quickly made before he says,
Another alien?
Actually, I am of terrestrial origin.
Crystal, darling. You got to tell people that you're an alien if they ask.
But these are like supposed to be my friends, right? But my friends can know. Because you're supposed to tell friends everything and not keep secrets. And stuff,
Yes, you're supposed to tell us everything and not keep secrets.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You can
Specifically
tell
me and
your
Tommy.
friends everything and never keep secrets from your friends.
Oh,
But you need to know that they're your friends, all right? And then these people are. But now everybody has to say that Crystal's an alien when you go out in public, okay?
Yeah, we can lie to those people. They're strangers.
Okay.
Yes.
Crystal is an alien. But are you really though? What do you like? What's your deal?
So Professor Gam kind of accidentally created me while he was experimenting with these really rapidly growing crystals. And then I came around, and then the Reed Corporation didn't really want people to know about that, so they told him to take me in so that, people wouldn't find out about it.
And don't tell anybody about the Reed Corporation or Professor please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Disclosure meetings, but I don't think that they technically are binding because I'm under 18, so...
How old are you?
Like a month and a half old.
You are really articulate for a month and a half old baby.
Thanks. I did a lot of internet searching and taught myself how
Oh,
to
that can be
talk.
really... Internet's kind of gross sometimes.
It was
Anyway.
fine. There's lots of people that have really cool dreams on there, which, by the way, reaches into backpack and pulls out several giant journals. I brought you guys dream journals, so if you could fill these out and then let me read them like every night after or every day when you wake
Why?
up. Because dreams are really cool, and I want to know what people dream about.
Oh,
I
I can...
dream of a day where I'm not covered in a metal prison
Right,
with a
write it
super
in the
annoying
journal.
defective dragon
I can show
bothering
you.
me.
She sounds like she has problems.
Okay, well, so that's Ms. And Ms. is like... I still don't quite understand. So there's like Ms. and then there's Ace. And Ace is a Vistari power armor suit thing that's alive
That
and
is
conscious.
correct. I,
defective.
Ace, and an adaptive symbiotic exoskeleton.
Defective.
Oh, got it.
Not defective.
Yeah. So they're like best friends or something. I don't know. And
No.
We are.
and that's Nikos Katsumi something, who is a real alien, who is not here to subjugate the planet. Maybe And that's Crystal. And if you want to know what I dream of, I can just show you.
Yes.
Dinosaurs
Oh.
everywhere. Like 30 of them. But little. Because Professor Odd doesn't like it when I make full-size ones.
Hmm.
And they all have little glowing spots in their chests. So like
Okay.
care dinos.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is good. I'm learning so many new things. Also, why was one of us maybe here not to subjugate the planet?
I don't know. The actual
Okay.
alien apparently destroys planets and subjugates people and accidentally destroyed the planet of one of her own people or
Oh.
something.
That's so sad. Here, I
Yeah.
have a dream journal.
Yeah, she's probably going to have all kinds of wicked nightmares about it. I know I would.
Wait, can you write? I might have to learn how to read alien.
I bet Ace can help you. Ace, I'm sure, speaks lots of different alien languages.
Yeah.
I do.
Ace is super smart. Ace lacks social graces, but is very smart. And Mrs. Salty about it.
That seems very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Her salt levels seem normal for a human.
Ace, no, salty is an expression. It means put out or miffed.
Her name is Ms.
Okay, never mind. I'm not talking to you anymore.
Just say that they're unhappy.
I don't know. Why is everyone criticizing? I died earlier.
You died?
Yeah.
Are we gonna die?
I mean, maybe. I mean, it's day one and I got blown to pieces. Trying to protect the world ender over there before I knew they were the world ender.
Ace made me kill him and then sedated me after.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't feel bad about it. I'm fine.
I didn't realize humans were so squishy. I'm recalibrating.
You say this and you refuse to get off of me because you talk about how squishy I am.
Well, also, it would kill you and me.
That is a very important thing, Ace. Most humans don't respawn. Actually, no humans respawn. So, like, if you kill someone, it's like forever. And that's a bad thing.
Noted.
Okay.
And it's very traumatizing for the person you're attached to, who is a young teenage girl that has never killed anyone before.
Anyways, I'm gonna go unload my baggage.
You want some help?
Yes, please. I brought so many things. I don't know how they fit on the back of the motorbike, but we did it.
Pandadillos.
This is amazing.
Perfect. Well, some time passes. If any of you want to have conversation in some sort of comfort and support level, maybe.
Yes.
Go ahead and do that before we move along to other things. As Professor Odd is giving you all some more time to get used to living in her estate, and probably vice versa.
Hey, Miss.
Yeah.
So I know it can be real weird, and it sounds like you're in a kind of uncomfortable situation, but you shouldn't feel guilty about killing me. I mean,
I couldn't do anything about it.
Well, that's why you shouldn't feel guilty. I mean, like if you knew that Ace was going to kill me and then you didn't do anything about it on purpose, I would be upset because that's rude. But you didn't know and you couldn't stop it, so it was beyond your control. And if anything, Dr. Darwin taught me that we have to be really focused on the things that we can control and the things that we can't control. And it's no good being upset about things we can't control.
The human is right.
Yeah, Ace, you're probably not helping. Remember what I said about not having good social skills? So you should maybe look that up. But anyway, all I'm saying is you shouldn't feel bad about it. It's I mean, you can feel whatever way you want to feel. I'm just saying, don't. It's not you. I mean, things are weird. This is a really weird place, and everything is kind of wrong. And I kind of wish I was back on the island, because, I mean, sure, it was real weird there, but it was kind of a cool kind of weird. And this is a little bit more like a spooky, like what was all that weird ritual stuff that the professor had? I don't even want to know. But
he was very nonchalant about you dying, by the way.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I think she doesn't have very good people skills either. But anyway, you do, and I know that you would never intentionally kill me or allow me to get killed. So don't feel bad about that.
Thanks, Tommy.
All right, rolled comfort support.
Yeah, plus mundane. I was trying
Plus
to
mundane there.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to RP it like someone who is not good at this, because he is not. However, that is exactly a 7.
All right.
So if you open up, you can remove a condition or something.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Tommy. It's just with you saying what I can control, I just feel really out of control right now. Like, I don't have control over my destiny or like my future. I don't know if I can control it in other situations. Like, I'm afraid to leave. What if we go out somewhere and he kills somebody that's can't respawn? I've never been in a fist fight. I can't deal with killing people. I'm not some Vistari guard warrior person. I'm literally a teenage girl. I just wanted to swim.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's all I want to do now is go swimming and like not with the suit of armor on. And I can't even do that.
yeah, it sucks. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I had never destroyed an Aegis helicarrier before. Sometimes losing control is kind of a good thing. I'm pretty sure I didn't squash anyone. But in that moment, I was kind of like, well,
We'll have to circle back to that story time at some point. But thanks.
So accidentally killing someone, wrecking an Aegis helicarrier with, big animals.
At least I didn't, accidentally blow up a planet.
I know, right? We should, that's someone who should really, I hope the professor is going to, pay for some counseling or something, because it sounds like everybody needs it. I'm kind of okay. But you guys probably need some.
He needs.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're fine.
I'm perfect.
You need to get in touch with your feelings, bro.
Objective.
The best AI the Starry has to offer.
Yeah.
This is false.
Oh.
Down in the corner, narrator's note. This was not true.
exactly. A little bubble.
A little asterisk. The statement has not been approved by the Food and Drug Administration.
So, sorry, the result of the comfort and support was a 7?
Yep.
So that means
you may, you opened up, so you may clear a condition or
shift labels or mark potential.
I will remove guilty.
Yeah.
As you do. All right, anything else that people want to do while you have some downtime here? Your place?
I mean, Ace probably wants to figure out the crystal stuff. Probably very interested in that regenerative crystal.
Yeah. Would be handy in case, more humans die or something. They seem very fragile. That blast was hardly Ace's full power.
Wrong character for healing abilities, but close enough.
Exactly. Well, I mean, probably also interested. There's probably been some times you had to slap your hand away as Ace is all like, look at one of the creatures that Tommy made is running around.
Like trying to take a sample, you just see a little thing come out of it. I'm like, stop that.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to get some samples of that. That one comes back to life. That kind of thing. So, maybe Ace, let's go talk to the rock.
No.
Oh.
And then Crystal walks in.
Perfect. Perfect.
Are you making a snack? And can we smell what the rock is cooking?
Yes.
I will come there and
Major B.
And then I'm like standing there with the bowl and then looking at the suit and it's like, how do you like, and she like puts the popcorn in her mouth and it's like, how do you do that?
How do you do that?
I mean, I have a mouth and it kind of just gets absorbed. So.
Do you need it?
No, but I like to eat it.
Can you taste it?
Why are you trying to poke me?
Ignore it. He likes to. I think he's just curious about you because. I mean, you're, different.
Yeah, I'm kind of pink. And.
Yeah, yes.
It's not a thing that's usually alive. But.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Ms., I would like to collect a sample, please.
That's really rude and inappropriate.
Why?
Is he saying this out loud or just to me?
No, just kidding. Sorry. I need to do a hand signal for this.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to be rude or inappropriate.
No, I'm sorry, not you, Crystal. I'm talking to the really rude AI in my head.
Something about ritual.
What's a sample of you? I told him no.
I think legally I'm not allowed to say yes.
Legally, she's not allowed to say yes.
Ah, yes. Laws. Those are important, and we will abide by them.
Copyright patented. But not by the Reed Corporation. Don't tell anyone that part.
You shouldn't have to worry about him. Sorry. Just doesn't really understand, proper social etiquette or anything, really. It's defective. So.
Warriors don't need social etiquette. Sorry,
Crystal
aside.
standing there having just busted in the door without knocking, bringing popcorn. She's like, social etiquette's weird. I don't know. So, question, because, you weren't always like this, right? Because there's, 2 of you, but...
Yeah, I used to be really good at swimming.
The starry armor is beautiful.
I do think it's really pretty. It's very shiny.
See? Shiny. Those shiny ferrets or whatever. Quite handy.
Yeah, but it's not great for, being normal or being a competitive swimmer because you're automatically disqualified. Or,
I mean, but if you're not normal, then don't you just have to make the best of not being normal? Because
I
I'm
don't
not
have to
normal,
do anything.
and I can't change this.
Yeah, but that's normal for you. This was
It's
not normal
for
for me. I wasn't born like this.
Hmm. Yeah, but
This was
you have,
thrust upon me against my will.
Greatness is thrust upon you.
Effective armor was thrust upon me against my will and ruined my future.
I don't understand why you keep saying defective.
I can't go to homecoming in this.
What's homecoming?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter because I can't go to it.
Are you sure?
Okay. Just asking.
I'm not going to homecoming anymore. Sorry. Yeah, so
So,
yeah.
but you like still have a future, right?
Yeah, but not the one I wanted, not the one I worked super hard for. This thing keeps calling me weak and squishy, but I worked really hard to be a really good swimmer. I was super
Humans are really
competitive,
weak and squishy.
super good at what I did, and all that hard work now is for nothing.
But soon you'll
Okay,
rise
so-
victorious in battle.
I'm gonna battle you here in a second.
Your
don't
training
wanna
has
fight.
not yet
Not you,
begun,
Crystal.
but when it does,
Like, I don't want to fight. I turn into a scary monster and it's not fun. Anyways,
wait, we have her run that by again. Hold on. Say that again, louder and clearer.
So sometimes I'm not tiny and cute. Sometimes I'm like 12 feet tall and really scary and yeah. Because, the whole crystal growth thing. Yeah. It.
We could also be tall and scary.
It's not a competition.
But you wanted to be competitive, though, right? So, I mean, we could make it a competition. I think I could probably
that's
keep growing,
not
though, so
what
we'd have to figure it out,
A competition sounds lovely.
Oh,
Let
no.
us set one up in the yard. Summon the
Oh.
others.
I don't think that's a good idea.
What's happening? We're having a competition for becoming
See if I can
large.
get bigger than
Oh, no.
Oh, I can't get bigger.
this.
That's
You can
okay.
make
You can be
big
a
things.
judge. I mean, I can make stuff that's bigger. Does that count?
This is a horrible idea.
I think we need more than one judge, though. Where's
Perfect.
Katsumi? We need Katsumi, too.
Yo, she's probably crawling in a window or something.
Sound of glass shattering.
Which is a great gag. I will note that throughout the hall, anytime you go through a room that has a window broken, there's been a small group of tiny purple people replacing the windows.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah. Frankie's in charge of this house.
Look like they have sharp teeth. Why do I have impenetrable armor?
So, all of you are gathered in the courtyard area due to Ace's insistence that we do a getting bigger contest. Katsumi, you've been... actually, you can also get bigger, can't you? Like,
Yeah. Shapeshift.
as a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
I want to play too. I don't want to be a judge.
I mean, I can judge. Am I really even involved in this?
I mean, kind of.
Sure you are. It's our synergy that makes us...
Yeah, we can like just be fair and judge each other. Besides, it's just a friendly competition, right? It doesn't matter who wins.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, who goes first?
The Ace's idea.
Yeah.
What is
All right.
getting into
Let's
you?
let's see what you can do.
All right. Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers.
What do I have? I have -2 to unleash. So. Oh, but it's +3, so I still get +1. Okay, so 9. What is going on with you?
I'll say, I presume you don't want to mark a condition to make this happen.
No.
Yeah.
I am not interested in helping Ace win this competition. I didn't even want to do this competition.
Yeah. So the form itself as you transform, I think is a little
wibbly wobbly, as it were. I think there's probably some leg armor that grows and like the shoulders extended to probably an unreasonable number of like projectile weapon things and what have you to kind of like bulk up on that height. But even as Aces is doing this, he's all like, all right, yeah, I need you to concentrate on the form, stay absolutely still. All right, now extend your arm, like coaching you through steps, and you're just like, yeah, exactly. So it at some point you probably wobble a bit as one of the legs like loses some height and it collapses back in, and then Aces is probably just talking at you like, well, not quite. You see, when you have to extend the form, it's more like a situation. It's just a constant monologue in your head about that.
Is annoyed a condition?
No, otherwise everyone would be suffering from the Aces will just be like, well, we have some work to do, but that's about what we got going on.
I mean, it was kind of cool. It was interesting.
Yeah.
All right, next.
I guess I can go.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll to unleash your powers.
It's a 13.
Wow.
Beautiful.
I could probably keep going as it continues.
Wow.
Transforms into a creepy monster with 4 legs and like no eyes and weird headpiece, and then the legs just keep extending.
But still the same little girl voice.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's super cool. I mean, you're getting some looks from the neighbors.
It's fine.
Probably.
Probably.
I don't know.
And to be honest, I don't think the neighbors are either used to weird stuff happening here or can't see normally over the fence.
Or some. Well,
I mean, in this case, everyone's a little taller than the fence, but it's probably also just like, oh, it's the Odd Asylum. Okay.
well, I think you, Crystal, are now in the lead. Because I mean, your
Thanks.
stuff was really cool too, Miz. But I think that this is pretty impressive.
Oh no, he was never gonna win. He's defective.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but
The rant goes on about perfect Vistari technology, etc.
Maybe you could try being nice.
Niceness doesn't win battles, my friend.
I mean, sometimes it prevents battles, though, and isn't that the same thing?
But why would we want to?
Because
But
maybe
why would we want to battle?
you make me tired.
Do you
Katsumi,
see what I have to deal with?
I know, right? It sounds like a real nightmare. Katsumi, get big or something.
Okay. Katsumi over here standing at like already like 7 feet or something because they're tall and they're small compared to their species.
Like over 2 times the height of Crystal.
I'll do a roll. And that is an 8 to unleash powers.
All right. So either you can mark a condition or it's either unstable or temporary.
It'll probably be temporary.
Yeah. So you describe how you transform.
So a purple light emits from Katsumi as they do the shifting, and then they change into a creature of their home planet that sort of looks like a dog giraffe mix sort of creature. Yeah.
So you turn into that, and it's pretty tall, but it doesn't take very long for the form to like wobble, and then you shrink back down to your mere 7-foot height. Meanwhile, Crystal's still like, choo choo.
Are you just gonna keep going? I think that's enough.
Oh yeah. Stop.
Yeah, I'd stop unless someone gets bigger, then you have to outdo them.
Right. Go, Tommy.
All right.
What's the biggest thing? So I think I'll power up.
All right.
You know. +2. That is going to be 9, so I mark a condition. So Tommy wants to impress his new friends. And he's thinking like, what's big stuff? And he's like blue whale, stegosaurus, tyrannosaurus or whatever.
Turtle Island.
Well, and then he's like, what the biggest thing I know is the tentacle. Okay. And he's not really thinking. And then he kind of looks up, and forming out of the clouds is the tentacle. And he's like, yeah. And then it's just like, the 1,000-foot tentacles. Because I'm obviously spending those to burn to get a 10+ on Unleashing the Powers. The tentacles start to kind of flop down on the ground, and you can see the giant head. He's like, oh no, way too big. Oh crap. And he starts to get afraid, and he's freaking out. It's like, no, this is a good problem. And then he kind of concentrates, and it kind of scrunches back down until there's like one little puppy. Bing. Oh, and he runs and catches it. You're okay. Sorry about that. I tried to think of the biggest thing I could think of, and it was the tentacle, which is technically the island that I used to live on. And then I didn't think about the scale and how heavy it would be. Probably would have squished everyone flat.
I would have been fine.
You win the
probably would have
cutest
been.
competition.
Yeah, I'm happy with the cutest competition winner. I'm happy. So Crystal wins the biggest, and
Ace wins most effective.
the spikiest, and Katsumi wins the most alien, and I win the cutest.
I thought I would be the most alien. Way better at being an alien than them.
The puppy has tentacles that it's flapping around.
Shrink back down to adorable size.
You can keep him if you want.
So cool. Yes. New pet.
Kids, it's time for dinner, yells Professor
Aww.
Odd.
Okay,
Prop,
I can't
we were
wait to
just
show you
having
my new
fun.
pet.
Yeah.
I'm inside with it.
Maybe don't
Exactly.
tell the professor that about the tentacle.
Is the professor my friend?
No.
I think she's.
We're
And then
teenagers.
runs off
You're
back
not friends
inside
with
and
adults.
hides it in her room.
I think she's kind of like our boss or something. I don't know.
Good enough for me. No.
Hey, professor. So what's the deal though?
What do you mean? we say, having cut to sitting at the table, probably.
Yeah.
When you getting this thing off me?
Well, and like, why are we here? Like, why did you bring us all here?
Especially
I mean,
if
I'm
you're not
not
going to get this thing
complaining.
off me.
You have a one-track mind, Miss. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying.
I'm literally only here for one reason, and that's to get this thing off me.
Well, like we all have, like, I guess different. I didn't really have anywhere else to go, and Crystal, you're just, I guess, just here, and Katsumi, you were just here because I don't know. Like, why are we? But like, why are we here though?
You know, that's a question a lot of people ask at
I
all
know.
times.
I'm not
and no
talking
one-
about like
Mhm.
like existential stuff. I just mean
Stop
like,
Which is
Reflecting.
surprising. Considering.
why are we here?
Oh,
Crystal's
well,
having a mental
mostly.
breakdown.
Oh yeah, it's fine. You'll be all right. No, it's mostly because I happen to be watching you all as a favor to a variety of people, and that's pretty much it.
Watching me. Isn't the whole point to get the thing off me? And then what I want, what my parents
Remember
want?
when I said the time
whole
scale
point.
was
Mhm.
long?
Yeah, but it feels
How
like
long
you're
have you-
not trying. Like, you haven't really done anything. Like, you haven't even, like...
Can you see
Done any
research happening? Do you know what I do? Read books? You think that's not helping you?
Doesn't feel like it's helping me. I mean, you let me kill
Yes.
Tommy. Just saying.
Yes, that was probably an oversight. Sorry, Tommy.
Oh, it's fine.
But
But so are we just gonna like hang around here? I'm not saying it's like if we're gonna be like just hanging around here, we're gonna need like some decorating or something because this place is spooky.
oh, well, you
My
can
room's
decorate.
decorated.
Yes, Crystal
I'll
has
decorate the
decorated.
house.
Okay, we can do that.
Yes.
That sounds good. However, you've been here long enough, gotten a little accustomed, I believe. You'll be going to school tomorrow. I've gotten you all enrolled at West High School.
No. I
Hmm?
can't go to school in this thing. You mean them, right?
No, you too. I mean, I'm not here to teach you your mathematics or
Okay, then I'll take
Science or
online
whatever.
I'm not
school.
very
I'm
good
not
at
going
math.
to school in this thing. I killed somebody. I can't
Jesus
control
will
this.
do it again.
You say that. I bet you would have said the same thing earlier, like, oh, he won't kill anybody in the first place.
Well, you know, things
No.
happen.
No, we don't. No, and things
I mean,
happen. Yeah,
she-
that's the problem.
I mean, she has a point. Things do kind of just happen.
Things do
Yeah,
happen.
and I'd rather them not
Unexpected
happen
things.
at school.
Like going to school. I'm so excited.
I'm happy for you.
You don't
You don't
sound very happy.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, if you wanted to know more about the questions of why you were brought here, you'd have to probably pierce the mask.
I'm willing to try. I'm assuming multiple of us could theoretically do it because I'm not going to
Yes, if
succeed.
you're
Yeah,
more curious.
maybe
That's no way
Aces
I'm
can
here.
figure out some, or Ace can figure out some micro expressions or something.
Well, Crystal thinks she knows why she's here, which is that Professor Graham didn't want her. So.
Oh, plus mundane.
Oh,
We're also
Everyone's
good at
here very
mundane.
Monday.
Very mundane.
Yeah, that'll be a 4.
Cool.
Oh, but I get my first potential. That's good.
Got a 9 to pierce the mask.
yeah, I got an 8.
All right, so you can ask one of the questions on a 7 to 9, which is, what are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to do blank? How could I gain influence over you?
Mace wants to know how I can get her to try to get the armor off. But I also want to know is she intending to actually get the armor? So probably that first.
The answer to that is yes.
Okay.
Like there is sincerity to her saying, I am researching, this is complicated, like, you know, that kind of thing. Like, she, I think in her knowledge, she already knows it's fused, it is defective, this is going to be complicated, if not impossible, with her current knowledge to figure out. So she'll probably have to be like writing to the starry people to see if she can get an expert in, you know, because I don't know, there might be some on planet, but maybe not specialized in whatever this AI is and stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know if you get all that, but she's sincere in her intention and what she's talking about with researching. Katsumi, what did you want to ask?
Katsumi wants to know how they can get influence over Professor Odd.
That one's interesting. Let's see. Probably by, I think your baseline is generally not destroying the planet and stuff like that. That'd be pretty good. I think either performing some like heroic acts, or maybe by starting down a path of trying to repair your relations with the home planet somehow. You're in a kind of tough spot, and she's in a tough spot with you being here and wanted, generally speaking. So I think some influential stuff around that line would be handy. All right, any rate, school. Yes, you do need to go to school. I will get you. You're not going to your same high school, unless you did go to West before. I don't actually know, Mithril.
No.
No, okay. It won't be your same school. No one there is going to know you per se, unless they saw something in the news. That's been a bit now. And there are plenty of other supers in the school, a variety of types, that you won't stand out entirely even in your armor. And if you do, it shouldn't be a problem. These others will be here. You'll blend right in with me and Crystal.
I mean, it's kind of true. You're not the weirdest one of us.
Yeah, you didn't blow up a planet.
That's true.
Especially your own planet.
We're not making fun of you, Katsumi. We're just saying.
I understand.
Are my parents on board with this?
Yes.
I kind of thought that if you're still in contact with Dr. Darwin, I would just go back there. Or is he mad at me or something?
Oh, no, he's not mad at you.
That's good. I mean, I wasn't supposed to, Boo.
Well, there's always extenuating circumstances in case where things that you weren't planning for happen.
That's true.
Looks at Aces. Aces looks back.
Guys, it's okay. I know the secret to getting through school. So many people dream about that. You just dream that everyone's in their underwear, and then it's okay.
Yeah. Or you have a friend who's really smart. My friend Archie's really smart. He helped me with my homework. He's really good at math.
Does Archie go to school with us?
No, he's on the island and he's a squid.
Cool. I want to go to this island.
I know, right? Maybe like for spring break or something, we can all go to the island.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely another time. I think he's still getting settled. Last I heard.
Do I even need to go to school since I have an AI in my brain?
Oh yeah, you could like totally cheat on all the tests.
Right, yeah, so what's the point?
Miz will be our Archie.
Does Aces know anything about English writing, proper grammar,
Civics.
art, our government system? And Aces is all like, of course I know all of the human things. I can connect to the... He's telling you, he's not telling everybody.
Oh.
I can connect to the internet. It's full of all sorts of true facts.
Oh, God.
Did you know the Earth is flat?
And school isn't just about learning, it's about how you get along with your peers, protecting innocent people from random attacks. No, standard school things.
That's not part of school. What?
I mean, in Halcyon it kind of is.
Not for me.
Well, yes, of course. Of course not for you. No, just normal school activities.
Yeah, I'm the one they gotta protect people from.
No one needs
Jesus
to.
will be
No
fine.
one needs to
Okay, you
protect
didn't-
themselves from you. You're fine,
blow up a
Miz.
planet.
Yeah, you didn't blow
He
up the
isn't.
planet. It's fine.
He killed you.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm kind of over it.
It's not okay.
It's fine.
Don't tell him. Don't encourage
It's
him.
fine. No, Ace. I'm not talking to you. It's not okay to kill me or anybody.
Understood.
Or it's also not okay to take samples from people without asking. And it's not okay to like chop people's arms off or break bits of people or otherwise hurt people. Hurting people is
Yeah,
bad.
consent is very important. I need you to read the Geneva Convention.
What's
that?
that?
Yeah, what is that?
The
It's like we're in school already.
I know,
Geneva
right?
Convention, or whatever it is in this universe.
Katsumi starts sweating.
I don't know. I just know it's like full of what you shouldn't do because they're war crimes or something.
Oh, you mean like don't torture people and
Yes.
Oh, you shouldn't steal stuff from people either.
Yeah.
What are other things you shouldn't do? You shouldn't cut in line.
Yeah. Consent is very important, such as with the sample stuff.
Yeah. You should always ask before you do something weird. Or at least try to.
Touch anybody. Keep
Well,
your
I never do
hands,
anything
metal,
weird.
whatever things to yourself.
I mean,
and this is the Geneva Convention?
I don't know.
No, not all this is the Geneva
Oh.
Convention. That's just like rules of war or something.
Write that down.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Stuff like,
Wait,
yeah,
are
they
you
banned
writing
like
down a lesson?
flamethrowers because it causes unnecessary suffering, stuff like that.
Yeah, don't maybe and you should like oh, you know what?
No chemical weapons.
Right, no chemical weapons. You should try to find people who are in trouble or are having a hard time, and you should try to make their day better.
No,
Yeah, that's a good thing.
no. You should shut up, keep to yourself, and not speak.
Now, you just said, I mean, you didn't say it, but agency is super important, Miz. And Ace has their own agency.
And Ace forced themselves on my body against my will through their agency.
Well, maybe they need
are
a
a
chance
robot.
to. Maybe they need a chance
Well,
to.
you hit the sequence to initiate the. So I just assumed that we were,
You shouldn't assume. That's not cool, man.
but you hit the sequence
I don't know what that is.
when you touch the armor.
You should really have a safety or confirmation or something on that thing.
Well,
No, I don't. You keep saying that. I really don't.
I thought
yeah.
it was very clear.
It's different culture. I'm not gonna know.
Well, then but Starry have many cultures who use power armors, you know.
Okay, well,
So it's not unexpected that
wasn't
even a
informed.
human would just.
Are you having a long drawn out conversation with Ace? Also, you
Yes,
shouldn't have long drawn out
always.
conversations telepathically or whatever, because it makes other people feel really awkward.
There's so many parts to the Geneva Convention.
Right?
Also, I did write down a lesson that a superhero should always follow the Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
Good. And many things are listed at the Geneva Convention.
Yes.
Yeah, all of these things.
Like,
Well,
don't
y-
eat ice cream too fast. It'll give you a brain freeze. Super important. Don't let
Katsumi always is talking telepathically. Why can't I?
Katsumi is talking telepathically.
Has
Who are you-
been this whole time.
Who are you talking to, Katsumi?
Is it our secret alien overlords? So you were lying to us that you weren't the one that was taking over the planet, but it was actually them?
I mean, maybe. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Crystal
Yeah.
is growing.
That's not cool.
That violates the Geneva Convention.
It probably does. I don't know what that is, but it probably does. And if it doesn't, it ought to. So, like, if we're going to be friends, you have to, like, make sure that you're not telling all of our secrets to the alien overlords.
Especially the one where I'm not an alien, because that's just not what friends do.
I know. And you should probably also tell them that if they come here and try to mess with the Earth, we're going to mess with them back. And it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I can't stop Ace
Tommy's
from.
gonna drop, like, tentacles on them.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure how big I can make stuff, but I bet it's big enough. So just saying. I mean, I don't like to get all about stuff, but sometimes you have to. And I'm just saying, in case you get all like, oh, humans are weak and I should let my friends know they should come here and conquer them. It's like, well, first of all, this place is like full of superheroes. And second of all,
He can literally respawn. He's like the protagonist of the video game.
hey, that's cool. I never thought of it that
He
way.
just redo the boss fight over and over until he wins.
Oh my God, that's actually really cool. That's a good idea. I mean, dying kind of sucks. And every time I die, the dark corner gets a little bit bigger. Anyway,
What?
The professor stops, is like, but does not press on that.
So when do we start school?
yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
I don't.
do we get to go? Well, never mind. Because back to school shopping is kind of pointless when I can't buy a new pair of jeans.
You can totally you can wear
Put
clothes.
it over the top.
Yeah.
That's gonna look so stupid.
We can get you like a hoodie. Well, I guess you can't wear hoodies in high school.
And
They're not
hide
allowed.
my Vistari glory?
I'm getting a hoodie.
Okay. We can get you some like hoodies and like some cargo pants. Well, so my friend Archie wears like hoodies and cargo pants to cover up his body because his body's a squid. It's real cool. I mean, he's like super body positive and comfortable with himself, but it just makes other people more comfortable. You know, not everyone is just like likes tentacles at breakfast.
I could see that.
Can we go shopping, Professor?
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Well,
And Ace is all like, but why would I do that?
we don't. Does anyone have any money? Because like on the island, you don't really
Pulls
need
out
money.
Professor Graham's credit card.
Cool.
Good job, Crystal. Good job. Expensive.
Wasn't I not supposed to steal things from people?
That's right.
It's fine.
You're borrowing it, right?
Yeah.
When he's your
Technically,
guardian.
he is still your guardian.
Yeah.
So,
True.
What's his is
Okay.
yours.
Yeah.
I mean, parents are supposed to pay for back to school shopping.
Yeah.
I don't think he really thinks he's my parent.
Well, he made
He
you.
made you.
But it,
yeah, it doesn't matter what he thinks, says Professor Odd.
yeah, it's good. Well, that's fine. He's a terrible parent. Let's go shopping.
Okay. Let's go.
Shopping montage.
Shopping montage.
I mean, I guess none of us
Um,
can drive.
I can just
They
turn
have
into a
a
giant monster and
vehicle.
walk us there.
You do have a vehicle,
Just
Katsumi.
Oh, do you want to
They have a
drive?
car.
Do you have your license?
Sure.
Why does the alien have a
Yes.
car?
You do have a license.
Yes, yes, I do. We
Yeah.
get them
Okay.
real early in life.
Okay. Sure. Let's go. Let's go check out your ride.
Goes outside and then sets the little keychain down, presses a
That's not
button,
a
and it
car.
But is
just
this a
wait.
car for ants?
Presses a button and it goes full size.
Oh, it gets bigger. Why didn't you use that in the competition? That was way cooler.
Hey, what you did was super cool. Don't let anyone bring you down.
It was cool. But also, this one's really cute.
But anyway, let's go to the Galleria.
Okay.
I mean, I assume there's a Galleria. There usually is in a big city.
Yeah,
What
there would be. As we leave the scene, would someone like the role of comfort and support for Ms. as you talked her through going to school?
I think that was,
haven't rolled a lot.
I think that's probably
Go
Crystal
for
because
it.
Crystal was the most excited.
I'm so mundane. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
Haha, that's a 4.
Cool. Well, mark potential.
Why does this have dates?
I can fix it. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely insecure about going to school still.
You just have to.
That's why we're buying a large baggy hoodie, huge sweatpants. Get to listen to Ace complain the whole time and be like, can I just poke
Come back
poke
under the
top?"
hoodie.
Yeah. Can I just poke out the top at least a little bit? Maybe outside. I can just go down the sleeve if you want.
Oh yeah, I guess you could just go like this and then be like on top of the hand.
So shopping is done. The spaceship is incredibly noticeable as you park it, or at least fly in, and I guess boop boop, and it turns into a keychain. I don't think much else is going on there. Let's see. Let's just jump into school quick. An exciting time. So you are all going to West High School. It's a public school in this area. It doesn't receive that much funding, but it is known for being full of superpowered people, whether they are heroes or villains. I think the first day, you have to get orientation really quick. I don't actually know if you're all in the same grade. One of you is a few months old, but will be is an alien and will be put into an appropriate grade. And one is an alien and will be put in an appropriate grade. So what grades are Tommy and Ms.?
Junior.
I'm
Was
probably.
that
Yep, good. Junior.
junior? Okay.
And we're the same age, more or less.
Me?
Yeah, so probably. Well, because Tommy's 16,
Yeah.
but he has been homeschooled
Yeah, we
/
can
island
just
schooled.
we can just put him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then there's like, yes, these two also are sophomores. I mean juniors. the regular human schooling age. So you go to classes. Obviously, there are stairs in the class, except for Tommy. I don't until the puppies start. I assume some of the teachers are more or less strict because everyone loves the animal, so it's a bit of a distraction in class. Whereas the Crystal, you're adorable. You're also a distraction in class. Katsumi.
This is bad. Goes against my lesson.
Yeah, you're gonna make so many friends, aren't you? A mistake.
Yeah, which is bad because I'm not supposed to be noticeable among civilians. And
Yeah, you know. Adorable, though.
You're just a regular alien. It's fine.
Just a regular alien.
yeah, aliens don't need to keep low profiles.
Well, no, they don't, because Katsumi's going to school too, even though she... But listen, aliens aren't really trolling around Earth radio that much. So then, I don't know, I think people might keep their distance from you, Katsumi, more so. And also Mithril, because, you know, even with the clothing, it's still sort of like, no face, just armor.
I
There
will
was
make
at least-
a special effort whenever anyone goes, oh, cute puppies, which of course makes me embarrassed, which makes more puppies, which of course is even cuter. And then I get more embarrassed. And then it's just like puppy getting. But anyway, I'll make sure to say, that's my friend Ms.
Mithril.
Okay. That's my friend Mithril. And I probably at this point meet Marsha.
Yeah, I'd say at lunch, because we aren't doing classes here. The only
Okay.
times anything exciting happens is lunch and after school. So we cut to lunch, where I think both where'd she go? Or did you no, there she is. So two people actually approach your lunch table as you get things to eat. Mithril, just to double check, SJ. So generally, you don't eat because Asus is just like, I got it.
He probably takes the food in a way where I don't really get to enjoy it,
Yeah,
like in the most efficient manner.
yeah,
But it's not like my helmet comes off so I can eat.
yeah. Okay, so it's just highly irritating for you.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Maybe though, at this cafeteria, you're like, oh, well, this was probably fine because it's not the best cafeteria food as things go.
Salisbury steak. Ew.
Yeah, and probably rectangle pizzas, you know.
Oh.
But another person, you've seen her in some of the classes that you had. She has red hair, green eyes, is like being waved over to another table, like, you know, like, oh, not today, haha, kind of thing, and approaches your table along with, I think, another person from that table stands up and joins her. It's another high school guy, kind of short hair, I'd say fairly muscular as far as guys go. And they approach your table, and she says, oh, hi, I saw you were new. Marsha,
Hey.
nice to meet you. Mind if we sit here?
Oh, sure. Just let me clear off the puppies. Get out of here, guys.
She giggles a bit, and she's like, oh, and this is Todd.
Hey, Todd.
Todd. He nods, like, yeah, Todd Tower. Some of you might recognize, who's from Halcyon? Maybe Ms.?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you probably recognize the Tower as part of the Tower family who lives in the Tower of Power, a known family of superheroes. As Marsha sits down, she's all like, cute puppies. I like making things too, and she's a little flower.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, do you go to the White Room too?
I mean, I guess you could kind of call it that. I was noticing the coloring was kind of similar with the puppies you were making when they, first appear and stuff. So I was kind of wondering if it was a power thing.
It might be. So, like, when you die, do you come back?
What? Die?
Yeah. You know, like when you die and you go to the White Room and then you come back?
I've never died. Wait, have you died?
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh man, are you okay?
We don't
yeah.
need to talk about. We don't need to
It's
talk
fine.
about that.
It was an unfortunate situation that was no one's fault. But yeah, it looks like you're like somehow manipulating the life field too. That's cool. You know, that's really rare.
Oh yeah, I've heard. No one else in my family has powers or anything like that, but it mostly just works for like plants instead of animals. And she makes
Cool.
she makes like a little flower crown.
How do you stop them from growing forever and covering the entire planet and crushing it to death?
Like, you just need to stop accessing the field once you're done making what you want, you know? It took a little practice. Like, I've been doing this since I was little. Like overgrown fields and stuff like that. But once you get the control down, you can make whatever you want. She makes another flower crown and puts it on Crystal.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I'm curious about that because I just like it's everywhere. You can't. I don't know. Maybe you know something I don't know. For me, it's just like always there.
Oh wow, weird.
And
Maybe
it's like
it just
always
takes like
trying to make stuff.
maybe it just takes like more energy if you're making like, things that can move around more than plants. Like I
Maybe.
can make and she makes like she's concentrating a little more for this, but like a fly trap kind of plant, right? So she's like, well, this takes a little more effort to make, right? So maybe it's something like, you know, even more if you're making so many puppies.
It's the other way around, really. Doesn't matter how big it is. It's mostly putting it back that's hard.
Oh, interesting.
But I'm real curious. We should like meet up and talk about how this stuff works.
Yeah, that'd be
Because
fun.
Dr. Darwin
You have-
wasn't entirely sure. He said it was something that was
Dr. Darwin, wasn't he like that guy who was like working with venom or whatever on the island?
maybe. Oh yeah, you heard about the island? It's real cool.
Yeah, it was on the news. Something about a bunch of teens stopping, I don't know, nukes or whatever.
Oh, those guys. They were kind of okay.
Yeah.
No,
These
but Dr. Darwin's
official
super cool.
teens. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Here's my. Do you have a phone?
Yeah.
Here's my number. And they start doing that. Miz, you look across the room and there's a guy you recognize.
Oh god.
Miss, where are you going? The food's up here.
Don't worry, Aces has been steadily just like sucking the food like through his straw or something that helpfully, I don't know. But yeah, there's a guy across. He has like dark brown hair, is kind of short. He has perhaps one might say a swimmer's build. And he seems to be eating at a table, probably with other on like the swim team or something like that. But he does keep looking your way, Miz. I see that Miz is slowly descending below the table, and probably that is happening. Does Miz do anything else?
Switch seats with me.
What
I
was
need
that?
to sit on the other side. I need to switch seats with me.
Oh, sure.
That way I can have my back.
I'll ask Todd to sit next to me. Oh, you can
And-
sit here if you want.
Dad's like, oh, sure.
And then I'll kind of look at Marsha like,
And she kind of looks back like,
just like,
So anyways, I'm Myth or Mithril. I say Myth just in case someone calls me Ms, so they think they're saying Myth.
yeah,
I see.
I don't want people knowing this.
Mithril is super cool.
Oh, yeah. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Do you always wear that armor?
I cannot take it off. So
And-
yes.
Oh, okay.
She's like really sensitive about it.
Yeah, it's like some super duper cool, like intergalactic artificial intelligence.
But also it's kind of mean and she didn't want it, so
I'm not mean.
Yeah.
you're a little mean.
What did we say about talking?
You shot
I thought
me.
you wanted me to talk with everybody and not
No.
you, not just you. Oh, I was trying to be nice here. Why is your heart rate suddenly higher? Also,
Oh my God.
like you wanted to switch seats as soon as your heart rate went up. Do you need me to calm down? Calm down. I will not do it.
Do not sedate me.
All right, I will not. I ask first. That is consent.
They talk to them.
Thank you.
They're supposed to talk out loud, but it's fine.
I said we were supposed to talk out loud. See?
No, I don't.
Oh, so now you want me to talk quietly? Is that what it is?
No, I don't want you to talk at all. Because it's awkward. You're embarrassing me.
You know, you could just think. You could just think the thoughts. Katsumi just thinks the thoughts.
Okay. You could have told me this earlier.
I thought you liked verbalizing. Like humans do.
I mean, yes, but no, if I knew this was an option, I have been sounding like I've been arguing with myself like a crazy person for days now.
You're still gesturing though, right? Like, do you want... I can stop that.
No.
All right, I won't. All right, well, at any rate, your meal is complete. Feel free to enjoy the conversation.
So that was super awkward. Anyway, and Crystal is an alien from another planet. And so is Katsumi. Katsumi is also an alien from another planet.
Oh, cool. We haven't had aliens here in a while.
Yeah, Katsumi's planet blew up. It's a mystery why.
Oh, man, that's a real shame.
Yeah, she doesn't like to talk about it.
I see. Cat's got your tongue there, huh?
Yep.
So anyway, we live with Professor Odd.
Oh, like that creepy haunted asylum?
Yeah,
Oh.
Wait, there's ghosts?
I haven't
I
seen
mean,
any.
it's just like a rumor. You know, there's like a dare that like sometimes the seniors do, like to see if any of the freshmen want to sneak in and, see if there's any ghosts or anything.
Form pep club
You
cults.
you guys could come over and then hang out a little bit, and then you could go and tell everyone that you hung out at the Odd Asylum and saw like a ghost or something.
I mean, I guess we could. You want to come, Todd? And Todd's just like, sure, whatever. And then she's like, yeah, cool. So he's like, well, let's do it like this weekend then.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have a party. I bet the professor will always have a party. I mean, she kind of owes it to us. That's
Well,
what I
definitely.
Probably. I've only seen her a few times, like on her going around.
I think it's cool, but it's really loud. Besides, the place is huge. She doesn't even have to know. We can sneak in. That'd be more cool anyway, right?
Mommy has the biggest room.
Well, I have to.
Oh, nice.
I have to.
Oh, right, because of the puppies and things. I used to have that problem too. Sometimes you'd have to go out like an open field somewhere, and I'd just be like, "Phew, wildflowers everywhere."
Oh, I should try that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it'll just be like a ton of puppies.
Could be.
You've already kind of made a ton of puppies. I did like when the classroom entirely. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I need to remember to put them all back. It's just so hard. It's a lot
I'm
easier to
sure
let them
you'll
out.
get used to it.
Probably, or not. I made a turtentacle last night.
Oh, cool. What's that?
It's like a sea turtle and like a giant octopus and other kind of weird stuff. It's the size of an island.
Well, that's big. You have some serious juice.
I mean, it's not any harder than making puppies, really.
If you say so.
Puppies or rhinos and elephants to rain down on an Aegis helicarrier. It's just like, it's all kind of the same.
An Aegis helicarrier?
Oh, yeah. Well, they
Like,
were attacking the island.
Yeah.
And so I dropped a bunch of stuff on the helicarrier.
Like, aren't they mad at you about that or something?
Probably.
Are they, like, wouldn't they be able to find you?
I don't know.
Huh.
I mean, they
Well, anyway.
probably realized it was their fault. So maybe they're whatever.
Yeah. And then the bell goes off. And he's like, all right, well, later. And
Bye, Marcia. Bye,
Todd.
Todd.
nods.
Thanks for the flower crown.
Tommy,
You're welcome.
Todd is super cute.
I know, right?
What do the aliens think?
So now I'm conflicted. Are they my friends? Because if they're my friends, then I'm lying to them.
Not yet.
That is weird.
Well, so one of the things with new friends is that sometimes you have to, and I probably shouldn't have said all that stuff about Aegis, but I'm just used to like being in a place where like, well, most of the people read minds, and it's like Dr. Darwin, who you can tell anything to because he's super cool. But sometimes it's like not exactly lying. It's more like you don't want someone to know something that might put them in danger. So like,
Okay.
like if they knew what was really going on, would they maybe get in trouble for knowing it?
It would. They'd probably get in a lot of trouble.
And we don't know. Maybe they're like gossips or something. It doesn't mean you can't be
You're
friends
right.
with them, but you just have to exercise good judgment.
Gotta feel him out.
Yeah. We'll find out more at the party.
It's gonna be great.
Like spin the
I
bottle.
have so many ideas. But
Stop.
I can spin the bottle.
Well, so
I mean-
it's a
I can't really play.
you can.
Kind of pointless.
Not really. You can still
Yeah.
feel stuff, right?
What are they gonna
No.
kiss the faceplate?
Okay, why not?
It's very polished.
Maybe Ace can manifest some lips or something. So anyway, it's a game that you play and you spin the bottle and then like whoever it lands on, they have to make out.
Humans
wanna
are
play
weird.
Like 7 minutes in heaven.
Right.
Be careful who you go in there with.
I know, right? There will be no human sacrifices. No, well, you don't have to play. It's like totally fine. But we shouldn't play that kind of game. We should play other games.
Like Truth or Dare.
Oh, that could be really problematic. I love it. Let's do it.
So excited to learn about all these games.
Well, Truth or Dare is a game where you get to choose Truth or Dare, and then the other people say, pick one, and then they either dare you to do a thing, you have to do it, or they dare you, or you have to tell the truth about something. But they have to ask. It's not like
That
you
is
have to
pretty
just,
dangerous, yeah.
pick something and tell the truth about it. But they have to ask. And
So
you can
what if
always
they
say,
ask me if I'm really an alien, do I have to tell the truth?
I mean, kind of. But no one's going to ask you, are you really an alien? Because you're obviously an alien, right? Right?
Obviously. I'm from another planet in space.
Maybe you are. Did you ever think about it?
Yeah.
Maybe Dr. What's-His-Face was lying and you're actually an alien. So you could literally say, I don't know.
Panic.
You could literally say, I don't remember another planet, but Professor Odd says that I'm an alien. And that's all true.
Existential crisis.
Your head is getting bigger. Is that the way it's supposed to happen?
No, I'm just getting really upset.
It'll be okay.
I'm really confused.
just like puppies. Just flying through the air. Yeah.
Yeah. Stop getting upset. Fine, it's okay.
We'll be fine. We have I don't know what day is it, but we have some time to prepare. I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
Several days.
Yeah, we have a couple days to prepare.
We're not going to make you play anything you don't want to play.
Yeah.
Can I wait though? Can I put up like the streamers and
Yeah. Well, you can reach I mean, the ceilings are pretty tall and you can reach them. So yeah. What are you going to do?
You don't really typically put, never mind.
What are you going to do, Katsumi, to prepare for the party?
I'll bring food.
Cool. What kind of
Food
food?
that humans can eat, right?
I mean, that's a good
Yes.
question. Cool.
That
I'll
won't
go
kill them, right?
shopping. No.
Okay. Like some chips and salsa or something?
Yes.
Some flamin' hot Cheetos?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
or it's a potato salad.
Cool. Well,
Oh.
I mean, that
You all
sounds
go
fun.
to your classes for the afternoon. After school, as you're headed out, the guy at lunch that you were trying to avoid approaches you, Mithril. What do you do?
Act like
Kind
I
of
don't
approaches-
see them or recognize them. Like,
And he's all like, hey, was it,
can I help you?
it's Mithril, right?
Yeah, have we met before?
Like at the, like you're Ms., right?
It's myth. Myth.
No, like at
in
the
Mithril.
swim meet, like when we went diving.
Diving. What? Are you sure you're not confusing me with somebody else?
Well, I didn't think I was, but
I mean, diving
Um,
sounds super cool. I'm sure it was a cool person that you were diving with, but
I'm gonna need you to roll something for your avoiding this situation. I don't know exactly what it is. Let's just go with pierce the mask.
are you rolling?
I think you should roll. I know it's the opposite, but
I said that because I rolled poorly.
we still have wounds and things if you would like to try again.
Sure. Is it with pierce the mask? Oh, it's plus mundane.
Aces
Okay, well.
helps.
Yeah, I got a 3.
Ooh.
'Cause, yeah, mine's like 4 minus 1.
Okay. Mark potential. And I say that he looks like super put out that you are pretending that you don't know him and that he wouldn't recognize the suit of armor that appeared when that you all were diving off of the coast. So he's just like, All right, Mithril, I guess I'll see you around. And he turns and walks away.
He seemed nice.
Yeah.
Why didn't you talk to him?
I knew him before.
Was he like your boyfriend?
No.
Oh. Well, but isn't it?
And never will be.
Well, first of all, you don't know that. I mean, how many robotic superheroes are there? I know you're not a robot, but still, how many robotic superheroes are out there that are married? Like all of them, practically.
Not the same.
Yeah, well. Anyway, Professor Odd's gonna take the power suit off soon. But think about like all the cool stuff that you could do now, like while you're waiting.
Go ahead and roll comfort and support. This game is really just trying to make Ms. feel better, and it's not working.
It's not working because we're all not mundane.
It's a 9.
Really, I don't think
Yeah, just hit on the die, so it's a 9.
our best mundane is 0 across this group.
Yeah,
And
All
it's
right.
the literal alien.
we're super freaky.
Go ahead. So on a hit, you can mark potential, clear, condition, or shift list.
I will clear hopeless.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
Besides-
she will get the suit off at some point.
And also, besides, he knew what happened to you, and he still wanted to talk to you. Isn't that something?
Who wouldn't want to talk to the freak? Figure out what happened.
That's not what I picked up. I thought he was just trying to be like, "Hey, don't I know you?" That was like a friendly thing. It's no different than Marsha and Todd.
Now, to be fair, Mithril, I think you did get a few today who did do the "whoa, what's with the armor" thing at you. So,
Yeah. Or someone that was probably like, "Oh, are you the girl from the news that?"
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, to be honest, other people on the swim team explicitly. Probably the people who weren't there at the, the little side event that y'all did, but I would think it's quite a few of the other swim team members are like, oh, the thing that happened, weren't you there? Sorry, I need to grab his name again. Weren't you there, Grant? Kind of thing,
Mm.
Probably noticed. At any rate, thus ends the first day of school. So we can have a quick montage of going to school, taking care of the classes, because you're at this point, part way through the start of the school year. I think it's probably been about a month-ish since school started, so a little late as far as things go, but you're catching up in this, I guess, first week as you approach the weekend. You're buying party supplies, all of that good stuff, getting ready for the party. And I think we're going to close on a scene where, I don't know, it's night, everyone's asleep in their beds, and then it goes from panels as it cuts through all of the asylum to one far corner, and sorry, my cat. A ghostly hand appears out from behind a ledge and grabs it. And then, there's probably a scary silhouette, and then, to be continued.
So there really are ghosts. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a haunted asylum.
Yay!
I'm down for
As
it.
you do.
All the
Hope
occultists.
Ace can make a ghost pack.
Yes.
Exactly.
Who's gonna be Danny Phantom?
All
I'm
right.
down for it.
So I guess that is it for this time. We'll be doing the second episode next week, I think, which will conclude our little initial adventure. So we'll start going around and we do our who we are and then also the end of game moves in the session, which is to say whether your character grew closer to the team, grew into your own image of yourself, or grew away from the team. So you can pick one of those things. And I'll just start with me saying that I'm Misha or Misha_less_3 here on Twitch, at MishaWay on Twitter, and you'll see me here next week for the second part of this. And then we can go to SJ.
I am SJ or SJ_sidekick. I do not stream, but I play a lot of games on here. To include this Masks campaign, the other Masks campaign, and then I've run a couple games. As far as end of session, I would say grew closer to the team. Probably specifically Tommy, just because he's comforted me the most, and I probably hung out with him the most. Yeah.
And go ahead, Sin. And if you haven't,
That said, I think Tommy probably already had it. Wait, let me see.
Yeah, we're developing influence.
oh
as
yeah,
we
I
speak.
don't know if I did the initial influence for everyone. Make sure
Yeah.
those are assigned as needed.
Because I already
as
gave
per your
influence
playbook.
to Tommy, I think.
Okay.
Because I had to initially.
I can shift
give-
your labels.
Yeah.
I think you're not gonna like it.
Oh no.
I think Monday Not Freaked Down.
Mm-mm.
Because I'm trying to make you feel like you're not so separate.
Normal, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see how Asus was super quiet when you're feeling emotional about that boy? He did such a good job of
Yeah,
not
actually.
annoying you right then. I was saying if you hadn't filled out the relationship, now might be a good time to pick those out as well. So go ahead, Sin.
Hi, I'm Sin or Sinful__potato on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all the fun stuff. The next time I'll be streaming will be Saturday, August 20th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to play episode 2 of Masks Pandora's Box. We left off on a blast of a cliffhanger, a quite literal blast, as my players... Yeah, my players decided to run into a building that had a bomb into it. That was fun. Didn't plan that. So now I have to clean it up.
Just scrape
Yeah.
her off the floor. It's fine.
Yeah. I think Katsumi grew closer to the team, sort of. Maybe more so closer to Crystal in the sense that she's more different than the others in the team, so it's like more relating-ish.
Didn't try to
Like-
kill you.
Both not human, whereas the other two are human and therefore more inferior towards Katsumi and the crystal. So Crystal gets influence over Katsumi.
Ooh. And I am 98 tough over tough for Torfilton or some other variety of nickname. I'm also a variety streamer on Twitch. I play lots of different games. Sometimes I run games. One day Masks will come back. Until then, I will be here on Thursday for Tales from the Smoke, and then like Sim said, I will be on Sin's channel on Saturday, where my character definitely didn't get blown up by a bomb. To wrap that up, for Crystal, I think she definitely grew close to the team. She's very excited about everybody. I think she grew closer to, I think to Myth after the growing competition, because it was just like fun and silly and things that friends do, question mark. So yeah, we'll go with that.
Friends love comparing the sizes of things.
I mean,
You're not wrong. Yeah, that's me.
cool. And I am Zero Daylight. You can usually catch me here a couple times a week. Like Tough, next time I will be on is this coming Thursday for part 2 of Tales from the Smoke, where things will go horribly, horribly wrong. SJ will be there. SJ will probably maybe eat another person. Content warning. It's pretty grim. So it is about to get worse. And I think Tommy definitely grew closer to the team. And I think probably, as is often the case, trying to help, even though he's riddled with conditions himself, trying to help Mithril out. Made him feel closer. Gave him an opportunity to feel useful, and that's what helped him feel closer to the team. And which means, Mithril, you will need to shift his labels because he gives influence to everyone.
Yeah, I need to shift you and Crystal's labels because both of you give influence. Already have influence for everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to shift Tommy's savior up
Okay.
since you literally died.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I guess that.
Yeah, that did happen.
And I'll put. I don't really want to put Danger down because
No.
you made a huge turtle.
But that was by accident. He has not done anything aggressive. I think that's right.
Okay.
He's the opposite of Danger.
And then for Crystal, we'll put Superior down. And Danger up.
Ooh. Oh, we actually
Because
got
you
big.
won the biggest competition.
Yeah. That's true. Cool.
Awesome. Well, cool. Oh yeah, it's that time. We should go and hang out with someone, don't you think? Well, first of all, thanks Misha for running. Thanks everyone for playing. Thanks everyone for joining and watching, and thanks later on YouTube for watching. And thanks Meg for rating. I was busy trying to find my dummy battery for my camera that happened, so sorry I didn't say thanks, but thanks belatedly. We should go hang out with someone, and I think it should be the Batgwen, because we very rarely get a chance to raid him. Thanks for dropping in the raid calls. Let me see if I can... The Batgwen. Make sure it's the right one this time. As opposed to raiding some other random Batgwen out there. There's apparently 4 or 5. It looks like that is correct, so we're going to go hang out with Batty. Drop in the raid call, say hello to him, hopefully interrupt him in whatever he's doing. Playing Spyro the Dragon, it looks like. So cool. We will see you back here on Thursday, and then same time, same channel next week for part 2. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.